The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello guys, my name is DJ Ola 7 Owen. We're Kwamadondo, the Chief Air Marshal on your number one podcast in the land, the Ola 7 podcast, a bold space for real stories, viral moments, and conversations that matter. So today on the show, we have an incredibly talented and dynamic guest, a girl from Chegutu who is taking Zimbabwe's fashion scene by storm. She is known for her creativity, her ability to transform looks, and helping her clients elevate their style. Beyond her creativity, she is a mother of one, balancing motherhood with being in the limelight and also building a powerful brand. Along the way, she has made headlines and even trended online at the end of last year for some unexpected reasons. But today, we are here to hear her side of the story, firsthand. Please give a warm welcome to Natalie Mhandu, famously known as Madam Stylist Enchantress. She's in the building. Hey, Mami, how are you?
Hi, Ola, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for coming, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Finally, you're here.
Well, yeah, finally I'm here.
Are you excited?
I'm happy. I'm really happy. Chinonzi munhu anofana kudzoka kuvanhu.
Kuvanhu, yes.
Vanhu vanowanika panapa.
Kuno kune vanhu.
Yes.
Thank you.
Saka ukapinga munhu unodzoka
Unodzoka kuno.
Ndadzoka kuvanhu.
Oh, wow,
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been a minute, by the way. How have you been?
I've been great, thank you. Yes, I've been great. Thanks for
Great.
asking.
I understand, Natalie, you've been staying Kulawayo at one point and also then moved to Chegutu before coming to Harare. How did you adjust from, being in a city, being big like Bulawayo? BYO is big, to a small one, Chegutu.
Okay, so I think you got that confused. I was born here in Harare,
Yeah.
Kuchitungiza, Second North Clinic. That's where I was born. The first child in what I can call a really big, diverse family.
Yes.
And then most of my childhood, I grew up in Chegutu.
Chegutu, yes.
I am proudly rapping 053. Ndizimwana wa Chegutu.
Wow.
And my mom worked for a customs company. I will not be saying names
Yes.
to respect names. I mean, the Cyber
Yes.
Act is really firm on not dropping names.
Yeah.
Anyway, so because of that, my mom then moved to Beitbridge first, then to Bulawayo.
To Bulawayo.
And I had to juggle in between being in Chegutu with Gogo was raising us and being in Bulawayo with my mom and my father.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I can safely say I grew up in between places. And just like any other African family, I was raised by a community. Ndakakudzwa Gogo,
Wow.
mostly.
Wow.
My mom on the side would contribute. Kudza. She was chasing her dreams and her goals because she had me when she was very young.
Yeah.
And my dad's side of the family in Chitungwiza would also play a part in my upbringing. I can safely say ndakakura in between places.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
really have what you call a fixed abode. But for the longest of time, Chegutu was home for me. Yes. Nagogo.
Like mama wa mama.
Yes. That's
Wow.
the one person that up until now, I look at as the matriarch in my family, the person who played both mom and dad for me most times.
Yes.
Because my parents had me when they were young. My dad was 21, my mom was 19. They were freshly out of school.
Okay.
I can imagine, rather I can understand now as an adult what it's like to have a child when you're very young like that. And unfortunately, they separated early after they had me and my brother. And then,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So now we had to grow up Nagogo. My dad was finishing his artisanship. He was a class 1 artisan, may he rest in peace. And then he did his engineering after that. And then my mom had to go and do a degree and go and start working. So it was really a lot.
Yeah.
And we had to then have what you call a fixed abode. I mean, I'm writing a book about my life. So
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to get into much detail. So I
Yes.
allow the viewers to wait for the book to come out. The book is labeled The Silence I Survived.
Wow.
It's a book, a memoir of my story from when I was born until now. It's really going to be 35 chapters of my whole life. I think in that book, I'll really get deep and I will paint a picture for you guys to understand.
Yeah.
I want people to understand my narrative, to hear it from my voice and to hear it from my experiences rather than hearing from someone who's an alleged neighbor, but like, yeah, Chakakura Nai, she was like this, was like that. But yeah, you asked me, how was it maneuvering from Bulawayo and coming here? So in between teenage and adulthood, right? I am one of those teenage pregnancy mothers. I got pregnant when I was in uni, my first year, and I didn't manage to finish university.
How old were you then?
19, about to turn 20.
Wow.
Yes. So I was very intelligent in school, Ola. Ndakatoenda kuchikora scholarships.
You sound so intelligent, by the way.
Thank you very much. When it comes to academics, I want to believe I'm one of those who are really gifted.
Oh, yeah.
Ndaenda kuchikoro. Tisvana vakakura girls' scouts at Regina Mundi High School. We didn't have boys at school.
The girls' high.
Yes. So now you're out there in the world. No one really tells you about contraception because to us growing up, sex was a taboo. We never really had our parents talking about the birds and the bees with us.
Yes.
So you find yourself out there and then you have a boyfriend and then things happen. Prior to that, I encountered a very unfortunate case of abuse, which I really never want to talk about because I don't identify as a victim. But anyway, let's move to...
But just go a little bit deeper on that one. Because maybe someone might be in the same situation.
Yes, I unfortunately did not have the privilege of choosing to start getting sexually active.
Yes.
I was abused by someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and unfortunately, in African families, abuse is not something that's taken lightly. Kudara ukataro nda abuse if the person ari munhu wekuziva.
Yes.
It's either why accused kunzi wakuta mskanzo yavakomana, this and this is wrong with you. So the one thing that I can take away from that is I'm not a victim of that.
Okay.
It shaped me into who I am. It's a life lesson that taught me how to.
Was it like a relative or something?
I wouldn't want to get into detail.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, I would really appreciate not talking about it much because it would only not be unfair to my family.
Oh, yeah.
It would also be very disrespectful because certain wounds better off left buried where they were buried.
So in other words, you're actually saying the first person to break your virginity was, someone who did it like...
It wasn't by choice.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of carried that trauma, and then I go to university, and then I had a boyfriend I was dating from the time I was around lower 6. And I would want to first of all acknowledge the fact that that man was good to me. Because when I was his girlfriend, tichikura kudaro, it was really about us taking walks together.
Yeah.
Me and the father of my child used to have love yokugarapa bridge.
Yes.
We were teenage lovers. Taidanana zvekutengerana mabanzi nekoko. Yes. So during the time that I was starting uni, he was finishing a course he was doing. Unfortunately, you get curious and then you feel safe around him, and then things happen, and then I get pregnant. And then one of the rules of the scholarship I had was you cannot get pregnant, just like going to nursing school.
Oh yeah.
So I get pregnant, and weirdly, I wasn't scared.
Oh, why?
I kept it a secret. Ndikatonoperekedza muchato wamaini vangu ndichitotamba ma steps and no one could tell.
Oh yeah.
And later on, I think I blurted it out. People were cooking something with onion and I just screamed, "Not go good." That's how I broke the news to my family. And like a normal African family, ndakaendeswa kumurumi. And nakutaura chokwadi kuti inini kuchikora handikwanisi kudzokera because ndakapara mhosva. Ndakazotaura nyaya yangu later on, but ndaendeswa kumurumi. And then I went and I had to go and live with my daughter's father.
Yeah.
That also was not a beautiful experience for me. I think responsibility changes people.
Okay.
And I think in our African culture, there's this thing that numbe yekutanga, even in marriages, even vakatororana vakachata, kind of comes with its own miedzo. Like it tries you. Yeah. So I think those trials were a little too overwhelming given how young we both were. And I actually lost my first pregnancy.
Oh.
I lost it.
Oh, sad.
At around 4 months. No one also spoke to me about contraception.
Yes.
Barely 3 months later, I then got pregnant with Chloe. And during that time that I was with him, I think I lived with him for about 6 to 7 months. It was difficult for both of us.
Yeah.
We were coming from different backgrounds. You then get to realize...
Did the family accept you?
They did. They did. I'm still in communication with them.
Yeah, great.
I want to acknowledge that they're lovely people to me. We had our difference at some point, but I want to acknowledge that we are able to communicate.
Yeah,
yes.
Great. Yeah.
So eventually, things didn't go as planned. And my family eventually then decided to Kumba. Kumba being Chegutu. Yes, because he was from Kuchitungwisa.
Yeah.
We met when I was then Kuchitungwisa because I then finished my A-level school, rental school Kuchitungwisa. So yes, I then went to Chegutu. So from where you grew up as a child, what's Okera? the entire community Chegutu knew me as the child who's really smart.
Yeah.
I was publicly known for being in academia. So vananokuona wadzoka kuti ndiye mwana uyu anga kanzi akaenda kuuniversity kunodii because kwandinobva inini kuChegutu you break cycles ukaita ndiwe watanga kuenda kuuniversity. For example, my mother's brother sekuru wangu is one of the first people from that place to actually go ku university nekuenda ku UK. Pani first group rano vakaenda ku UK. Zvekuti my grandmother's entire life vainzi my Sydney. Imi mwana wenyu akaseta a good example to our community. So papa my expectations around me because my siblings, my mom's younger children didn't get a lot of things because of me.
Yeah.
That is why up until this day I try to do my best to provide for them because my young brother Tawanda, my young sister Amanda, and my other cousin Kuku, they never got a chance to go to boarding school like I did. Sacrifices were made because paive neni my other cousin brother tisu taigona chikoro stiri takanzi ngavaende boarding school kuti tifide zvavanogona. So I can safely tell you I was what you call a chinyadziso family, for lack of a better word.
So do you feel some like, okay, you disappointed the whole
I
family?
was a disappointment of note. Chegutu right now, my mom is always, rather my mom's brother. You know, when you dropped out of school and got pregnant, because I was so annoyed and disappointed, Kuti. I expected you to become a top attorney in Southern Africa. And you come back home nenumbu. Chloe ari mudika inzi degree nagogo. Nekuti vamwe vana vaidzoka nemadegree indakadzoka nenumbu kuchikoro. Anditi. Anyway, so I then had my daughter and I want to acknowledge and appreciate the fact that my family has always been, we come from humble beginnings, but we've always been united in the sense that tinodya zvatinazvo tese. Kana paine $10 inokwana munhu wese. Growing up, isusu munhu wese aiwana a pair of school shoes and a pair of slippers. We never had boots dzekuchechi kana dzebhasi because zvaisakwana. You would get nice things sekuru vakatumiro drum rehembe once every 2 years because sekuru had to pay school fees for everybody.
Everyone. Yes. I see.
So transitioning now to Harare from all of this came at a later stage when initially I got my first job. I worked at a space shop. I remember my first salary was $120. It made me so happy because I could contribute to the household. And I later on went to work for InSco. I always tell everyone, if ever there is one place that shaped me into being the resilient hard worker that I am, hakuna munhu anoshanda kusimbisa brands. And they come out unpolished. It's not possible. We used to call it the slave yard. You know, when you're working there, you feel like it's abuse. But then later in life, you realize they teach you values of how to run a business. That is where I learned to be a resilient person. I'm not the best at what I do. But I do my best. So... back to chicken in. Now I'm in my early 20s. Ndavandashanda Blair for about a year, and then I came back to Chegutu. Then eventually I stopped because I wanted to go to nursing school. Danzi end up nursing school so you can come to London. While I'm in nursing school, I got pregnant again. Second disappointment.
Oh,
I am a disappointment.
Was it a mistake?
I am a disappointment of note. In my family, this is something that I can say and acknowledge with my chest. Kana kune mwana anotemesa musoro. I think my ancestors hate to see me coming. They look at me and they're like, oh, okay, what is it again this time?
Exactly. Was it by mistake, that pregnancy?
Hakuna chinchinozi pregnancy by mistake unless if you are sexually abused or assaulted. Hakuna chinchakadaro. It was not by mistake. Yes.
You knew?
I knew exactly what I was doing. It's unfortunate that I wasn't smart enough or I didn't think enough to think, you know what, let me get birth control. Because when I was breastfeeding Chloe, I actually had birth control. So you helped me understand how it skipped my mind then to get birth control, knowing fully well that in the beginning, I learned the hard way because Numbuya Chloe after I had a miscarriage. I could have actually tried to get back to school because there was time. Age was on my side. But anyway, I came back home again. And then, unfortunately, that's another situation that kind of changed me. It's another experience that shaped me into part of what I am today right now. Because I am the kind of person who is shaped by experiences. I want to acknowledge that that's one of the things that I can actually label and say, I am a victim of kurasikirwa nemwana.
Yeah.
No parent deserves to bury their child.
That's very true.
So I had my daughter, my second daughter.
Yeah.
And she came preterm. We lived in the hospital for about 6 weeks. And we actually made it home. Yes, her name was Caitlin Rose.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've never publicly spoken about this, like openly like this. And I am only saying this now because I've realized it's happening a lot to other people and it's really sad. Like,
Yeah, sure.
no parent deserves to bury their child. I know that pain. I've been through it. And for me, I was very young, Ola. Now you can imagine, you're barely 25 and you've got 2 under 2. And then Chloe has met her sister and then the baby passes away a week after Taenda Kumba.
Hey, sad.
Up until this day, every year on the day she died, the actual time she died, our bodies store trauma and they remember. Do you know I get anxiety, palpitations, and then it hits me, oh my God, it's that day.
Oh.
She would be 12 this year. But up until this day, I remember it vividly. I can tell you exactly how it happened. I will not get into it though,
Yeah.
but I lost my daughter.
Very sorry.
And now you can imagine, the same uncle who has always made sure he provides for all of us looks at me and says, not again. That time my mom then said, takunoisa no plant. Because at this point in time, manangu andiskuziva kuti chi.
What's next? Yeah.
But I want to also refer back to the community where I grew up in. You know, when you grow up in a community like Kwanika Kurira Chegutu, for lack of a better word, ndakakura mu community inoitwa ngemkomboni. Because kuchegutu we all had similar core houses.
Yes.
Kune kunonzi kuma 3 machena for those who come from Chegutu.
Yeah.
Kune kunonzi kuma 2. Kweita kuma 4. Kweita kuma Z, kuma P, kuma C. It's a very small community that's a bit on the primitive side.
Yeah.
Yes. So I grew up in a community filled with that Malawian culture yeshinyao.
Izinyawo, yes.
I think I always say this to people.
Yeah.
I grew up in a place where shouting profanities was normal because I think Karida Zemkomboni.
Yes.
Chegutu was mainly anchored on David Whitehead and Chegutu Kenas. So most of the workers are the people who were living in there.
Yes.
So you can imagine I'm coming from a place where munwesa wakakura na eventually anazororwa nemkomano yekura inakuseri and then that's all there is
That
to
same
it.
community.
Yes. There's only a few who make it out alive and go in the world and spread their wings and they
Yeah.
never come back.
Yeah.
They hardly come back. And I can acknowledge that at some point I became that person. Because when I had the second child, ndakanganda relationship ekuti my only focus was trying to make sure this then becomes who I am. That relationship defined my entire personality.
Wow.
Because all my friends were married to mkomano yokuseru kwatikakura naye and whatever, and I think that's what I was looking at. Because I also want to go there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if that is not your path, it's not your path.
But yeah.
I've grown to understand now that I'm grown and I'm older that certain things are not for everybody. And it's okay to accept that maybe you're not meant to be married.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you, but maybe it's actually not on your life path.
Yes, true.
So I then moved from there. Pandadzokera kumba. Ndabva ku nursing school ndazvara mwana ashaya handiti. Ndobva ndazowana basa ku EDGARS. And I was working ndichitengesa cosmetics at Black Opal.
Okay.
That's how I got into the retail industry.
I see.
A little backstory. In high school, I was a very smart child, but I was also ridiculously notorious. Not in the sense of boyfriends or whatever, but I would do like silly things. Mskan's very silly. For example, those who went to Regina Mund will tell you, I introduced what we called uniform in cheko. I would alter uniform into a body shaping dress.
Wow.
It is short. Uniform in a belt, a button side to side, I made mine in a way you could the belt would then hang and sit on your bum.
Wow.
I've always been shapely. So imagine. Kuonekwa stand out is something that's always been in me. Call it some superiority complex of some sort.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever made anything in relation to fashion, I was in Form 2. I made a dress for my late sister's daughter.
Yeah.
That's when I knew it. So no nema pin into no gonna
Yeah.
I was a model in high school. Miss Grade Junior.
Wow.
When I was 14. Baba wangu wakati andina mwana anoenda kunoita chipambi modeling. Azviite. So that dream died with that. And later in life now, looking back, I actually realized ndakatangira kwa high school because I would turn top really boob tube into a skirt and I would get creative with clothes.
Yes.
So now later in life I'm not at EDGARS. I'm working with makeup. But makeup I take more than clothes more EDGARS.
Yes.
I've always been an inquisitive person from since I was a child.
Yeah.
For example, The first big word I knew as a child was distinguish, and I was only 7 years old. Into grade 2. Diving a newspaper.
Yeah.
So like if you check my search history on ChatGPT or my Google, I'm forever trying to know something, which is why till this day I keep on doing to my diploma and this and that. So then I would be very inquisitive. I would ask questions. I wanted to understand about, okay, explain to me how fashion retail works. Okay, so who are our suppliers? Most people will work for EDGARS for years and not know that there's a company known as Escapades. Do you know my brands like an Kelso, and supplier Munana EDGARS, Munana Truett.
Yes.
I knew all of that from just working there. Kudara as a junior.
Yeah.
Then I was moved to Harare by my job. But at the same time, I requested for it because I now wanted to exit that toxic relationship that, with my second daughter's father.
Yes.
When I moved here, I think we worked 3 months and we were retrenched.
Did you stay with your second daughter's father?
In and out, I can say. He never really wanted it to be formal, but I would spend, let's say, maybe 21 days a month with him.
Okay.
I would still go home. I couldn't bring all my clothes to his, but we were always together, if you know what I mean. I was with him I met him when I was pregnant and he was my friend until I gave birth to Chloe. Then we started dating Chloe after 6 months. So I was with that man from 2012. Like I was saying, 2016, 2017.
Oh.
So when I moved here, 3 months into it, Baba started retrench. And then by then my dad was now working in South Africa. He was an engineer there, working for a good company there. And then I went to South Africa to visit my dad and Mandatoenda Durban to see a couple of friends from former nursing school days. And then my dad passed away.
Oh, sad.
So I then had to come back and handle the funeral. Then during that time, a friend then said to me, you know what? With all these things that are happening, you lost your job, your dad just died, come and crash with me. Then I went and I started staying with a friend in Mount Pleasant. And I said to my friend, then I got a job at a place in Kadoma where they do team building camps, lasting impressions.
Yes.
I worked there. My entire life as an adult, I have been working just to make sure I put food on my daughter's table because I never want her to lack. So from the time she was born, ndakazviudza kuti nyange ndikaomerwa sei andinotengere mwana wangu hembe mbiri because at some point in time indayapfeka hembe dzembiri. There are certain things that I put as standards that I'm setting for my daughter. So I've always been that woman who's fighting so hard for her child to have a different life from what I had growing up. Bless my family, they did their best.
Wow.
But there's certain things that I liked as a child.
I want to take you back a little bit. So you have how many kids now?
Okay. So before I answer that, I'm from a family where hakuna mai guru na maini. Growing up, we would refer to our moms by their names.
Yes.
Mama Dori, Mama Omega, Mama Besi. So currently, my children, my sister's children are my children.
Are your children, yeah?
Yes. There's a social media frenzy around the little toddler I post of late.
Yeah.
Yes, she's my child as much as she's my sister's child.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Biologically, my sister was my surrogate who had the child for me.
Yes.
But I'm more of her mother because, my sister is still young, like right now she's back in school and whatever.
Yeah.
Biologically, I have one child. Yes.
Chloe, just Chloe.
Yes, but technically I have two.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, because the reason why I asked you that question is because I saw that,
the little girl.
Little girl, yeah. I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay. I don't know about this one.
No, but I've been posting her over the years. I even did a photo shoot with her when she was about to turn 1, and Chloe and my brother's children. Like, all these kids are my kids. I'm the eldest in my family.
Yeah.
So since Gogo died, I'm now the matriarch. I'm the one who says kuti nasukanzwa fiwa ola. Kunomirirwa tete my Chloe. Kana sis my Chloe.
Oh, yes. It was a story so really fascinating. And you mentioned about becoming a mother at a young age,
Yes.
And many people might not know how much courage that requires. When you first found out that you were, pregnant, what was your biggest fear?
Okay. All I don't know, I think we post it.
Yes.
So you and I are spiritually anchored in the same direction. You understand when you're growing up, pane mamwe maweza anotaurwa nevanhu vakuru vachitenge vari kutuka because waita musikana kuti aka akazvare kakanipa muromo kakanyenama.
Yes.
I believed it. That's a seed that was planted in me. Hey. So with what had happened to me prior to me growing up fully, the abuse and whatever, I genuinely never thought I could have kids. It was just something I grew up believing.
because of
my words. I don't want to say mbuya ningi othetha ningi, but pane mamwe ma words anotaurwa upon children's lives. That's why you realize right now andisekerere sekura ndikune mwana wangu mhoro mukadzi wangu andizvide, because you're allocating kuti mudhara yepa achafana kudzokera mwana spiritual husband. I don't like that. So when I discovered I was pregnant, a friend at least said to me, why your ears look lighter than the rest of your body and just sleepy a lot. When I told my boyfriend I was pregnant, and he said, are you sure? And we did the pregnancy test together, and he then said to me, what do you want to do? And then I say to him, what if this is the only child I'm going to have? Initially, he was against it. Like, look, my life is coming together. We could always try later. Natural instinct. Normally, most men are never ready for children.
Yeah, but
in what if it's the only child I have? And you know what? Looking back right now, Chloe only. And now understanding certain health matters. Chloe, I can remember because we are numbish to after itanga, but still ndikuti daenda katombobatwa nemweya iwo zvaizoenda nepapi. I'm not a saint, I'm not perfect, but that's the one time where I said this is probably going to affect how my family perceives me or looks at me. This is going to make me look stupid in the community I grew up in. This is going to have people looking at me funny, but it doesn't matter because ndandine 12 points by A level. Saka unoza azvitaurika kuti musikana uya ne 12 points ka. Munakata economics obanza meet. But at that point in time, I think I had made peace with the fact that life is not going in the direction that I wanted to go, because my mom had lost a job prior to me finishing lower 6. Ndakatombomira chikoro 30 lower 6. Ndikanozokurura lower 6 because nandakuchinja from kubulawa kwanda ndiri college ndakuyanchiswa rentals. So I had to transition from kugara kuna mama, and I can tell you for a fact mwana wese anonida amai vake.
Yeah, true.
Hama dza amai vako love yadzinokupa nehama dzaunopiwa nelove yaunopiwa nehama dzababa yakasiyana. Mwana wemurora ni mwana wemwana musikana wepamba ipapo are treated differently. I love my dad's family. I love them. Ini ndini nevanji kumba kwana baba wangu. But I still want to acknowledge that they really didn't make life easy for me at some point in time. So yes, when I discovered I was pregnant, for me it was, then this means I'm going to get married. And also, I'm going to have a child. Do you know, I actually called my dad to tell him myself.
You felt neglected.
Not really. At that time, for me, it was a way out. Like, okay, fine, but yes. I called my dad. Do you know, he was so upset. But my dad and I had a relationship where because for the longest time, I was the only daughter. To him, that is. Because on my mom's side, I do have my sister Amanda. So you can imagine, he was very annoyed. He actually called Gogo to ask, because Babong was a very traditional man. I proudly tell everyone, wherever I go, that in Mwana wa Gwenyambira, and the Babong wanga bari shikiru. Yes. That's why up until now, I don't refer to my dad as anything else outside Kwati. Because that's what we called him growing up.
Wow.
So in any man outside him being that guy, he was also my friend. We got along very well because when he was not in his element, he would play Tupac and sit with me and talk to me.
Wow.
So I called him to tell him, because I think I lost the ability to feel ashamed at a very young age, and that's very sad. That's a trauma response. Ukaona munhu anosvika pakushaya nyadzi pane zvimwe zvinhu munhu angorarama upenyu hwake achiti ndangomirira zuva ramwari. The abuse made me lose hope in life for a long time. That's why I do not want to acknowledge myself or identify as a victim, because victim would then makes you allow that thing to feed off you, and I don't want that. That is not my story. I actually want to publicly apologize to my daughter, because she's going to find out about this from here, and she's going to have questions. I apologize, Chloe. I probably will not tell you about it, but the one thing I can only tell you, my child, is this is the reason why you never go to people's houses, because I don't feel safe around anyone. But anyway, moving on. The problem is you need to know towels at least. It's like we can spend 3 days.
But I'm listening, I'm paying attention to whatever that you're saying, to detail. Because it's quite a fascinating story, and the way you are narrating to him, I mean, a lot of people out there can actually relate to, and kuna nokuziya uri Natalie ari kupisa streets, but they don't know where you come from. And that's why I was not even interjecting, because I wanted you to explain so that people,
To actually correct you.
Yes.
My full name is Melody Natalie Mhandu.
Oh, it's Melody Natalie Mhandu.
Melody after Ambuya wangu amaya baba wangu.
Okay.
I normally don't use that name because as you grow up,
Yeah.
mazita panje kunesho song yekuti vana vane mazita ngavaremekedzwe. And I want to be very honest, zita iro rakaine zviito gogo vangu inini vane pamuromo. Vanopopota vanokanda zvibhakera. Those who grew up with me will tell you I grew up ndiri munhu wemafight. Yes. If you ask my sister, so many instances she would find me in a fight with 9 people ndiri one. Ini ndiro nemangoromera ekuti mukabvunza muningi wangu Amanda, she's in this studio with us.
Amanda, tell us, you're laughing now.
Amanda, it would be nice for you to comment.
Yes.
How many times have you had to scream at me to behave semunhu mukuru because nda-actor out nekuti kana ndatsamwa ndidzoreki?
So many times.
Baba vangu vainzi ghost boss vaityisa kunge chipuku vairova. Mangoromera iyayo akauya kumwana
kwauri manje.
And also mazita. Zita rambuya yangu rakaya nepamuromo. Ola ndakakurira mukombondi ngatisakangana.
Yes.
Ndinotuka kudarika vanhu vese vanotuka zvinyadzi. I choose to be composed. I choose to be composed.
I didn't see this one coming, honestly.
Don't let this decorum, or rather, for lack of a better phrase, don't let the eyelashes and the BBL fool you into thinking I'm very polished. I am not.
Ooh, she's not dropping the bars. Hey, go about.
I think a lot of people mistake my silence for kuti ndakapusa.
Oh yeah. Yauna.
I want us to relate to one thing. Chimbozvibvunza kuti sei pani pangu pandrojairwa. Munhu anenge aiziva padheni.
Yes.
Hapasvikike because they know kuti tinogona kupera tangovana. I choose not to, Ola. Do you know, as I grew older, there's a time I got angry and I got into a fight and Chloe witnessed it. Do you know she once said, pani pakazoitika or something, and then in anger as a parent, exactly. You know what she said? She went and she said to that teacher, what you did to me was wrong and unfair, but please don't try fight with my mom. She becomes a lion when she's angry. Because she's seen me literally raw, and I'm not proud of it. And I'm working so hard. My therapist, kokana mdzimu wangu uri onda ukasha, kokana mdzimu wangu uri ukasha na iola. Kokana ukasha iwo unounza chakanaka mupe. Aiwa akapatika. Usakanganweka kuti ini ndinoera shumba. So pane shumba yokanzwa inenge ichingoti kana shumba inoti don't jova. I have to roar it from time to time. I'm not proud of it. But the reason why I don't actually associate myself with that name a lot is because part of me trying to separate myself from certain things requires me to proactively choose certain things. Life is very spiritual.
Yeah. Now, you told me that you're raising your child as a single parent. You know,
yes.
Some people argue that a child benefits from having both parents actively involved. Right. So what's your response to that?
Okay, so I will address one thing. I've even seen people wanting to comment and question who's Chloe's father, etc.
Yes.
That is Chloe's part to respond to. Her relationship to her dad or with her dad is something that is sacred and between the two of them.
Okay.
But however, what I can tell you is
Do they interact? Do they talk?
They do when they want to.
Okay.
And I want to respect the father of my child because whether as we tengera mwana ichi or not, he is the reason why I'm a parent.
Yes.
He still remains Baba Mashita. And I think if you saw my message on Father's Day, I said I don't want to come here and say Happy Father's Day to me because I am not a father.
Yeah.
I get help. I have help from my family, my brothers, my uncles. I get help even from my romantic partners, from my friends.
Yes.
And I also want to acknowledge my daughter's father because without him, I wouldn't be a mother.
Yeah.
Yes. But I am a single parent in the sense that all responsibility falls on me.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you ever worry that your daughter might one day feel like, okay, she missed out on having a good relationship with the father? And how do you navigate those conversations as she grows older? Yeah.
Okay, so the one thing about me is this. Those who know me very well, without judgment or being biased, know I'm the kind of person who likes to put effort for relations to work.
Yes.
I have put effort multiple times for the two to have a relationship. My daughter is a mixture of me and her father. Her father is very hard-headed. I'm very hard-headed. You can imagine how tough she is.
Yeah.
If you follow my post, Chloe, Chloe is my biggest troll and my biggest bully in this life because she's very outspoken. And I'm raising a neurodivergent child. I will get into that later. So you can imagine already, this is a child who's neurodivergent, not your usual neurotypical child. So how she relates to things is different from how others relate to things. I know for a fact she'll never look back and think my mom robbed me of my relationship with my dad because I've made room and space for that. What they then choose to do with that space I've created is entirely up to the both of them. I want to respect my baby daddy and say he is not a socialite. He is not on social media. He's married now, by the way. I want to respect him and his wife and not speak about him because in personally, I hold no grudge against him. Yes, I will talk about...
No bitterness, nothing?
I will speak about him when I write my book and I'll really give details on what exactly happened. There's things that happened between us that we can't come back from. But I do not have the grounds to play God and judge him and be like, oh, you did this, because I'm also did stuff. I'm not holy or innocent. But in this case, Chloe can never look back and say my mom robbed me of my relationship with my dad because nothing of that matter happened.
You know what, Natalie, sometimes, I've come across my cases kuti itenyinzoti vakadzi sometimes munorambidza vana kuenda na baba vavo and stuff. Is it bitterness inenge ichikonzera that? I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general. Is it bitterness? Yezvinenge zvakaitika muchidanana kana kuti chi?
Okay, so I want to speak in relation to what I've experienced in my family members and in my life. Ola, as a man, if you do not actively put effort in being present in your child's life, and you choose to give conditions, like most men, this is what I've realized, even from friends that I've had in the past, most men have a tendency of saying they are only able to provide for their baby mother, or rather for their child, if their baby mother indulges in sexual relations with them, right? So they want to provide for their children with conditions. That is why most women then get bitter because, all right, we failed to be together, but can you try be present for your child? Though the biggest problem that society has. I'm not stereotyping men. There is a new wave of men that actually care about their children. Chegutu, I know a particular gentleman who's a friend of mine who put things in place that his office handles everything. He makes sure every 3 years he changes the car for them for school, and he pays the nannies. He literally makes sure they have a healthy mother so that they grow up a healthy life. Because so most men fail to understand that outside your relationship, this child will never change. So if you don't pour into that child and water them as a child, they will bloom into thorns. A plant can only bloom in beauty if it's watered properly. Most men forget that. Or they're going to become a rose bush. Yes, a few thorns here and there, because unfortunately, fatherless behavior is a real thing. I didn't grow up with my dad. There's parts of me that, yes, my mom's brothers were present raising us, but my dad and I would see that once every 2-3 years. And because of that absence, there's a part of my life where I feel like if I had been with him full time, I would have turned out differently.
We had this conversation on our trending stories. Go ahead. I'm kidding. We had that conversation on trending stories last week with Butterfly. We were talking about absent fathers and looking at the daughters or even their sons. Mama only without that voice. Hey, even when you'll be like, hey, dai mndaranga aripoka pamwe dai sina kusvika because ndaidzorwa zvakawanda because ndakashaya anondidzora kuti stop that nonsense. Ndaingodherera moms, ndaidherera gogas, ndaidherera ninge, but that father voice that says, hey, you stop. Exactly. And ndikutaura this because of what you've just said right now. But nowadays...
I actually want to add on to that. Do you know, I continuously say this every time I'm given a chance to speak. I am striving to raise a child who never has to recover from her childhood.
Wow.
My brother is a minister of the word in the church. Anoyimba.
Yes.
Ndukuti levurana Pastor Mahende. Ndumayimbira ntanzvadzi yangu church. My brother, ndibaba vedu tese. My days and under court, he was by my side the entire time. Because when need be, he is present.
Yes.
Because indeed the eldest son, regardless of me being older than him. Chloe never has room to act as stupid because actually 3 of my brothers presently exchange roles. Like my brother who's a pharmacist. Kuchkoro ndiye akatononyorwa sa next of kin after my name.
Yes.
nekuti iyeye strength yake is in academics ndiye anotanga kutumirwa report yemwana isusu tine application inonzi admin from heritage report yemwana inosvika kwaari nekwandiri ndiye anotongesa mwana kuti handina mwana anoita uri kunzwisa so I think some of these things happen because maybe growing up munhu isaiva busy minding their own kids
business,
and forgetting that mwana wehanzvadzi yako mwana wako as well because sure panonzi mbereko yaChloe panorehwa ini nehanzvadzi dzangu dzese handiti so I think nowadays there are actually ways to avoid raising broken children because like I said earlier on I am not playing father in Chloe's life yes I'm a single parent the vast majority of responsibility falls on me but I get a help right that help is what contributes to Chloe becoming mwana wekuti she's doing very well in sport she's doing very well in academics like last term akawene 5 A's 3 B's 1 C bandivigira ke E ku Geo ne D ku maths why because she didn't like the new maths teacher and she thinks geography is boring not because haagoni because vakabva kuchikoro sekuru nyasha vanomugarisa pasi vomeka sure kuti mwana ari kuleka chi paopening day all of my brothers unotoona mumwe waya there's $100 tengerai mwana chakati there's this and I've been privileged to be in relationships where I date partners who love Chloe kana kune mwana akazvarwa naMwari kumasowe munoti mwana uyu akazvarwa nenyeredzi Chloe's entire life has been a series of different destiny helpers just coming and saying this for Chloe, that for Chloe, this for Chloe, that for Chloe. Ola, I want to tell you from since Chloe started Form 1, I as a person have never paid school fees.
Oh.
You know, but school fees, man.
Wow.
Why? Because Chloe attracts so much abundance that for some reason, I just find things smooth flowing for her.
No, I like that. You mentioned something which I want to, take you back a little bit. You said you've had partners that love Chloe.
Yes.
So, tell me, introducing this partner today and introducing that partner tomorrow and the other one next week and the other one, don't you think it affects your daughter somehow? Or don't you think it might influence her into maybe, because she'll be like, okay, if my mother did it, I can also...
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So, it's not every partner that I've dated that Chloe has met. She's met maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
I can acknowledge that.
Oh, yes.
And I like the fact that we're living in a world where we are actually able to openly communicate with our children. Kudara True. We live in a world where you can actually have a conversation with your child. For example, those who follow me know Chloe has been bullying me to the point the friend is a single dad and I'm a single mom. They're trying to bring us together.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because my child is very mindful of the fact that she also wants me to be happy. Now, back to your question, Ola.
Yes.
I have not had to introduce every partner I've made to Chloe. There is times where yes. But the few times, like the 3 times that I know explicitly I've introduced her, the other time is the time I got married.
Yes.
Please don't ask me about that. Please don't ask me about that.
Okay.
She had to because this was my husband.
Yes.
And then I then dated someone else who up until now is very present in her life. Weirdly, her and him never got to meet.
Yes.
She's spoken to me on the phone, but what does he look like? She doesn't know.
Okay.
He's been very present in her life, but he's the kind of person who's never actually set foot at my house in Indonesia.
Wow.
But he's present in Chloe's life in the fact, in the sense that he provides for her. He's even providing for my mom. And kushkata zorambana andina pakatpe my siblings angu inini, or even mwana wangu wa asina kuta provide for because he was just a very kind person.
I see.
And he even said to me, Chloe should know, there's me, I'm dad. She doesn't have to know who I am. Why? Because at some point in time, Chloe Googled something and bumped into Nyaya Dzang pa internet.
Oh, yeah.
She come disturb. Akayachinditi mama, this is my father ningi ningi because I saw they said ndrimwana wa ningi.
Hey.
That story made that man say to me, I am going to be a father to this child behind the scenes. And he played that father role behind the scenes.
Yes.
I tend to give my partners nicknames. If I'm dating someone, baba tuongai. Hakuna mwana anonzi tuongai. But this is me trying to avoid dropping names in public. Which is why till this day, all life, you've noticed, I've had so much backlash and whatever, but there's never actually really been proof. There is proof. Because I've managed to protect whoever I'm with. Why? Because I respect whatever it is that they're doing for me in my life. I have become who I am because I've had help. Mostly from the partners I've been with in my life.
I see.
I'm a single middle-aged woman. I'm bound to date Shikaramba and to try. So yes, Chloe has met 2-3 people I've dated. And I have avoided being physical or all lovey-dovey around her. Why? Because I don't want you to think it's okay for men to touch you, because we raise our daughters telling them, Don't let people touch you here or there and whatever. So if you did mwana chuona, it's not to change your perspective. Okay? That's why till this day, Ola, one of the things I swear not to do in life, is sex tape.
Wow.
As you don't understand curious, kuti ndimboona zvofamba sei. Hakuna munhu asingade kuona kuti ndachite. But ndinongofunga kuti Chloe achandipesiva sei. And I worry a lot about the digital footprint we're creating. Unfortunately, these things will just pop up. I don't think anyone who's got a sex tape yakalika wanted that to be like that.
Yes.
There was a private moment that was meant to be an inside joke between two people that then ends up becoming something, tanisha image.
That's very true.
So I want to avoid kuti mwana azonzi uyero amayakela kazodai. And I also always say to my friends, don't put your life on hold because you've got children. I'm not going to stop dating because I've got a child. The danger is I'm a single middle-aged woman.
Yes.
Ndikatanga kudanana newe Ola. Uchoda kuziva kwandinogara. Ndikakudzinga mwana uchafunga kuti kune murume. So now I also have to create a balance where I allow my partner to see transparency in me, but I protect my child from nasi waona ningi mangwana waona ningi.
Very true.
So it's very possible. Like I've always lived in, I think since 2020 pachinjo life yangu we've been privileged to live in houses wekuti bedroom yangu iri kuinkwayo kwekuti handisangane nemwana pakati.
Yes.
It doesn't mean andimboitawo boyfriend ndinouya yotoita sleepover ndoiti na 5 buda uende shamani.
Exactly.
Handiti. But my point is I don't want Chloe to then witness me getting all physical with people, but at the same time I want her to understand a normal woman will date, zvoramba, you'll date, zvoramba, it's okay to get a heartbreak, and at some point when you're lucky you'll get married, you'll settle.
Are you looking forward to settle, to have a stable marriage?
I've been married before, 5.11, the whole 9 yards. It didn't end well for me. I can safely say maybe it's not for me. Because
so you rather do just stick to dating?
I would love to be married if life permitted, or rather if God permitted. My plan initially, I wanted to have 5 kids.
5 kids?
Yes.
Looking at your age, do you think you're going to achieve the goal?
It's possible. I try to live as healthy as possible. I didn't drink alcohol until I was 31, so I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Yes, I don't do drugs. I drink alcohol once in a blue moon. I try to live as healthy as I can. I do have my health problems like hypertension, but outside that, I want to believe that, like if you guard your health, I've tried to stay as far away as I can from Uraisa. I mean, there's always been speculation. I'm not going to but I want to thank God kuti achachashiko kwandiri. Achachandiloketawo at this point in time. So I think because of that, anenge achidaro, but ndongotendewo Mwari kuti it's when the last time I did like my full health check, my physician said, you are very eligible to have children. Yes, and you're very eligible. I can actually have kids.
Given a chance, what's sort of a man? Okay, I think this man deserves to be my husband. And what are the qualities of that man?
Above all things, Ola, a kind person. Because in kindness,
I'm a kind person, but I'm not saying I'm going to be the. I'm just saying qualities.
Allow me to expurgate. Are you shooting your shot?
Maybe I'm just saying. No, when you say kind, man,
allow me to explain. Allow me to explain.
Okay, go ahead.
Above all things, a kind man.
Yeah.
A kind man. In kindness, you find trustworthiness.
Yes.
In kindness, you find compassion. In kindness, you find generosity.
Yeah.
Because I think most women are looking for a wealthy man. Girls, I'll speak from experience.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a wealthy man and a generous man.
Wow.
So for me, I want a kind man who's generous, hardworking, and with the ability to come and carry me that
sounds more like Ola, that's Ola type. That's Ola type. You know what I mean?
Do you have a couple of millions in your savings? I was getting to that.
You said wealthy men, no. But generous, yes.
I was getting to that. Do you have a couple of millions in your savings?
No.
Exactly.
Millions, no.
Plus, I would go ahead. I just said. But
okay.
Because zita at some point in time, then my gran was married in polygamy. Not her choice. That's one thing I'm always praying against. But kana iri on zira yangu, if God then says that's my path, okay, I'll join my squadra Jonasi, but kana shivira mari, may Jonasi not locate me. Kana shivira mari.
But you're actually looking for a single guy?
I'm not looking for a man. I'm not looking for a man.
Given a chance.
I want us to put this into perspective. I'm not looking for a man, but I am hoping that a single man who's able-bodied, stable in mind, stable financially, very kind, trustworthy, and transparent, and able to be a father figure not only to my child, but also to me, because I've got father wounds that also need healing. I would happily be with him.
Try your shots.
You didn't ask me if I'm dating.
You
didn't ask me if I'm dating.
Are you dating?
Currently, I'm not married.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean I'm not seeing anyone. I am in a relationship.
I'll tell you one thing for a fact.
DM Rangu is one of the safest places. Men do not have the guts. Or like my sister Amanda calls it liver. They don't have the liver to DM.
Why?
I don't know. I've asked a couple of male friends. I've asked you before. And I'll say to people, guys, say and all I say to me, you are intimidating. You say that, your words, not mine. Now, if I would really, now I'm opening the floor to the general public. Please feel free to send me a DM and tell me what about me is intimidating, or rather what you think is wrong with me. I'm one person who's big on self-introspection. I'm open to having open conversations where we have positive criticism, or rather constructive criticism. So I learn from people. Observe you. It's okay for them to observe me and tell me what they think. Then I can correct that narrative. No, I think you read wrong. Yes.
Okay. Now let's move on to business. When you decided to launch Style Philosophy, as it's easy, in business, it's more like gambling and stuff. What challenges did you face, and what kept you going?
Okay, so prior to me starting my business, Style Philosophy, which I registered officially in 2019, I started in 2018. I was working in corporate. Yes, I was a corporate girl.
Okay.
And as I was working in corporate, remember I had a bit of training in retail from EDGARS. Then working in corporate, and things are changing. And at that point in time, I was working for a division of a particular bank that went under curatorship. So during that time, I've always been a girl who likes to dress up. So I traveled, I remember. I went to Dubai. And then I went to Turkey with someone I was dating then. And while I was there, I found, this is where people buy things. And then I just bought a couple of things. I tried to sell them. And they actually sold out.
Okay.
So I realized, I'm able to sell things. But then I put it aside. It really wasn't something I was looking forward to, because I enjoyed what I was doing. I was really climbing up the corporate ladder. I was looking forward to going back to do my law degree, because I really wanted to eventually become the lawyer I wanted to.
Yes.
Then, unfortunately, the curatorship happened. And then we all had to leave work. So come 2019, beginning of the year, first quarter, I'm unemployed now. I have a child who's in a private school. I have to pay rent into duplex flat and and I remember the last money I had was 14,000 rand. And a few things, I think about 16 dresses. Last time. That's all I had. Now, I was raised to acknowledge people who give you a platform to grow yourself. I want to publicly acknowledge the fact that I was friends with a lady who's publicly known as Miss Jada on social media. Miss Jada Mambokazi, Felicia Mandipaka. She was my junior in school. Felicia has a degree in banking and finance. She is one of the most financially intelligent people that I know. So on a conversation on WhatsApp, Facebook, she said to me, because I would post my outfit of the day on my WhatsApp. Blah, blah, blah. Kwa muskutengesa maroko yenyu sei. Mukaranga oseni. Komaroko antingona akuna mari kushoko. Vakoma, tenga ticket rebasa muye kunoku. Kujobeki. There's something I want us to try. How much money do you have? Pandakuda bus rang panenda kujobeki. I went to her house. She didn't say go get a guest house. She welcomed me in her house. I get there. Vataenda, I won't say the name of the place because she still uses those suppliers. The Vandit Vakoma, I want to teach you something. Mune in presence by Facebook. Before the fame that you guys know, I was on Facebook.
I remember.
Yes. I was keyboard friend ya Shadaya amongst other people. Was Tahiti akamnyora post yake. Tawana has always been very intelligent.
Yes.
And I would get him because there's a neurodivergent. You can read through. This sarcasm is leaning towards someone saying this. So ndandine van vakawanda by Facebook. And then pa WhatsApp pango they had numbers and whatever. And I have what you call social capital. The vanda that is called no try picture who post on a price, picture and a price. Do you know Olanda kadzoka kuno kundine ma orders as you know almost 30.
Wow.
Chandasko deliver basha badarwa. I want to publicly thank Felicia for that.
Wow.
If it was not for Miss Judd, style philosophy was never going to be born.
So is there a moment when you realize that this business is going to demand everything you have?
Yes. So from then on, you're not ending here. You're going to push this and raise your money, and then you can push from that money to get into what you really love. So during that time, ndaitengesa mahomeways neine ndichitengesa nehembe as well.
Yes.
Dzekudragon City vanokuziva. Ndichimixa zvese.
I know the place, yeah.
I am a person who likes quality and luxury. Even before I had anything, I've always liked luxury. So you can imagine going to find things and I know so zvinhu zvakanaka. Until mari yangu yaitaka kukwana. Ndivanda abauya futi bandit right. Tora passport yako una $100, let's go and do a Chinese visa. This girl literally dragged my hand through everything.
Yeah.
Till this day, me and her there was silly fallouts and squabbles. I take her as a sibling.
Yeah.
Totobowana ofungako. Totombotukana pa public. But andikwanise kumusiya ndinodzokera kwaari because ndinorangarira chakajikara manje.
Yes.
Ndovandaita my first Chinese trip vandadzoka. Ndovandaona space in a place in Kensington. Kainzi nagogo wangu passing room. It's like a corner from Papa New Year kusvika pana. Vandaisa hembe dzangu. That was the beginning of Star Philosophy.
Wow.
Vandatenga mahomeways aya vanaisamunika nkakona. That was the birth of Bid and Beyond. From a very humble beginning, from 14,000 rand. In fact, ndakahoda ne9,000 pakutanga, imwe ndikazotenga to grocery tokesa kumba. Semuna angaenda kujobek nebasi. Zvezvo kuti unombokwira ndege kuenda panga pasina. Yes.
Matangiro aya.
Yes.
Munhu wese ane kwaanobva nako zvinhu zvese zvine pazvinotangira. Your brand Enchantress has a name that suggests transformation and confidence. Why did you choose that name, and what did you want women to feel, when they hear it?
Okay, so I want to transition from opening that small shop to commercializing the brand, to labeling it Enchantress.
Yes.
When I went to Turkey back in 2018, I found a wholesale supplier for luxury underwear and lingerie. Now, I had a passion for selling underwear and lingerie. I wanted a name that was catchy and alluring. Why? Because your name sells faster than anything else. I was trying to build a brand with presence. So if people hear the word Enchantress and then there's nice underwear, they'll want to see, is it enchanting? So as I transformed from that space here 2019, in 2020, I then met someone who was God sent. This person came and changed my life in a space of 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks, this person just said, you know what, like, I see, because munakakubvunza ola kuti where do you see yourself in 5 years, and then you explain the drive behind what you're doing, you explain how you plan on scaling up, you explain what you're looking at, like what it is you want to build out of yourself.
Yeah.
Then they said, I'm going to fund what you want. They moved me to Groombridge. And then I opened my space. Like I said earlier on, I had help.
Yeah.
And now that I've got bigger space, then in a section in lingerie, then a section in MB. We started operating a Star Philosophy. We ran a Star Philosophy 2020 until 2023 March. Then I said I want to rebrand. Why? Because I wanted to now detach the name Enchantress from me. Unfortunately, that name then ended up becoming my name. And it created a persona, you can call it an alter ego.
Yeah.
For a time, it made sense. But as you grow older, I'm in my 30s. You evolve.
Yeah.
You grow past certain things. The things I liked back in 2020, I don't like them anymore right now. Even the food I ate then doesn't make sense to me right now. So the rebrand was specifically meant to say I am big on aesthetics. Not to brag, but look at how I present myself.
Yes.
Everything I do is perfectly curated. So the intention was to create perfectly curated things that are enchanting.
Yes.
That's why I took that brand name and I put it onto my store. But the company is still Star Philosophy. And it's diverse because we have 9 to 5. We have another brand that people don't know. I have a low-cost clothing brand in the CBD that people don't know about.
Wow.
Yes, because sometimes expanding requires you to detach yourself from the brand. Yes.
So, at our second anniversary, you were looking stunning. You were good. You're looking good, man.
Thank you.
Was it from your shop as well?
Yes, I dressed and styled myself.
Wow. Guys, just go on our page. I think munona rokwe rakapfekwa nemusikana kuti aiwa ranga rakagara.
Thank you.
Andire kushopping. In case mungangodo yard free advertising, I think I'm going to give you an invoice for this.
No, from shooting your short invoicing me.
Yes, invoicing you.
Pick a struggle.
Yeah,
yeah.
In 2022, you won the Zimbabwe's Achievers, Female Personality of the Year. And also in 2024, you were recognized in the ICDZ under 40 young business leaders. Where when you hear those, your name, each day were being announced. for awards like these, just a simple girl from Chegutu. What goes through your mind emotionally?
Okay, so for me, things like that are the reason why my daughter will continuously look at me as a role model. Because unlike Chloe, bless my parents, bless my family, I did not grow up with role models. I grew up with examples of who I don't want to become. Yes, because there was a lot of divorce going on. There was a lot of things going on in my family, a lot of mishap, dropping out of school, doing this, doing that. And then I want to continuously work so hard that my daughter grows up and looks at me and feels proud of me. So whenever I win an accolade, particularly the corporate directors one,
Yes.
that was a big one for me. Because being acknowledged amongst big names, because I was standing in line with Honorable Mavetira. I was standing in line with big names in the industry like Mrs. Gray Holmes.
Yes.
I was standing in line with the CEO of Aura Group. I was with Anamdi Awud on the same lineup. It made me feel not only seen and hurt, but it also made me feel like, I've worked so hard that they acknowledge me because they do due diligence.
Yeah.
So it meant my financials were making sense. My business model was making sense. I actually wanted to make it to Forbes 30 under 30, but same time some scandal happened and I was disqualified. I actually had qualified. So for me, these things are meant for my daughter to look at and know she too can do it. Because Chloe wants to go to an Ivy League school.
Yes.
So I might not have that college degree, but what she knows is my mother is so hardworking and she puts so much effort in what she does, so much that I have to do better than her. I keep on telling her, if I can do this, you can do better.
I see.
Yes, I told her I can win an award for business, but I want you to go and win an accolade as the best doctor or the best lawyer or whatever you become in your life. So for me, emotionally, it challenges me to continuously set good examples for my daughter. Because after reading bad things about me on the internet, she knows me beyond what you guys see.
Yes.
People know of me, but she knows me.
Yeah.
As a person, like she experiences me. So those experiences are more for my children, not for me. Because it makes my mother look at me and realize, disappointment wangu ya.
But what I like about you is you're a hard worker.
I do my best.
Being recognized, it means you're doing something outstanding,
I do my best.
And fashion world has evolved rapidly in social media. As someone who has built her brand in this era, what trips, fashion events do you attend? Natalie.
Ufunge Ola, I'm yet to get my formal invitation to Paris Fashion Week. I don't want to go there and buy a ticket and sit in some back row seat.
Okay.
So at the moment, I've been working so hard. I recently acquired my Inside LVMH certification as a stylist.
Okay.
Yes, I also got another styling certificate from Milan Fashion School.
Wow.
And I'm working towards getting a diploma from Fashion and Design District Dubai in styling, personal styling and multimedia, which is also run by LVMH. So you do on-set styling for whatever campaigns they're running.
Yeah.
I'm acquiring skills that are good enough for me to earn a seat at those tables. Earlier this year, I was partaking in the Hallelujah Challenge. One of my prayers was, Mari, I don't want to force things, force onto things where I'm not invited. I want to earn a seat at the table.
Yeah.
I'm yet to attend my first ever Paris Fashion Week.
Wow.
I think I've only attended South African Fashion Week. And I'm meant to attend Lagos Fashion Week later. I have an invitation from one of the brands from there. I get along with the founder and the designer.
Yes.
But as a person, I want to acknowledge the fact that I'm still growing towards that. What I've been doing was building my brand and building my skill set so that I earn a place on the table and I am worthy of being there. It's easy to pay your way up.
Yeah.
But I like to make sure I put in the work so that by the time I actually earn that place or that title, you can look back and say, akaenda akanoita chakat, akanodai. The goal is to become as big of a stylist as stylist Jay Bolin, as Colin Carter, as who's this Nigerian lady, Medlin Boss. I look at those guys and I'm like, I want to be like them.
Yeah.
Popo Gomede from South Africa. That's what I'm fighting for.
Wow, that's big. That's huge. How do you deal with negative comments and overcome? In this line of work, so how do you deal with negative comments?
All right, so thank you for that question. It's unfortunate that I woke up and found myself as a popular person on the internet, regardless of the fact that the internet is not a real place.
Yeah.
Social media is not a real place. I am unfortunately privy to being put under scrutiny because I am what you can call or label a public figure. I don't look at myself as a socialite.
Yeah.
I don't look at myself as an influencer because, I mean, when last did you see me influencing brands? It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I'm more of what you call a public figure. Why? Because my name is a household name. Like, people know me. People talk about me. It's unfortunate because there's a particular perception that people have of you based on the opinions of other people. And it's unfortunate that I've never really taken time to actually come and try and maybe annihilate someone back in retaliation to whatever they say about me.
Yes.
Because it's not really about how I respond. It's really about how people perceive me. Because if people decide today, Ola,
Yes.
even though on a brush cut,
Yes.
that's what they believe. So I cannot influence how people look at me.
Yeah.
However, I'm responsible for my contribution to the negativity. That's where I then want to acknowledge the fact that maybe one of my biggest problems, regardless of being in the public eye, is the fact that I have a mental illness, let me say it out myself, of having what's called savior complex. I assume that everybody needs help. So in most cases, I will avail myself to help someone. And in the end, there'll be a misunderstanding. Like in every relationship. I mean, don't you have misunderstandings with your friends and your family?
Yeah, we do.
Exactly. So now, zvinogadzirisika ola because initially the foundation of your relationship was built on the fact that it was a mutual agreement yekuti tinofarirana.
So do you think, or do you feel like, okay, that mental illness you just mentioned, you said it's called what?
Savior complex, assuming you can play Jesus and save everyone.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it has caused or it has brought more trouble into your life?
Yes, I think most of the trouble that's in my life is self-inflicted because I lack discernment and boundaries. I think one of my biggest problems or character flaws is my people-pleasing trait. I want to acknowledge that having come from a humble background and having encountered a lot of problems growing up, having encountered a lot of things from physical to sexual to verbal abuse, it somehow creates something within you that then kills something in you. Chegutu, one of my biggest problems is I assume that, for example, Ola, I'm quick to go and try and take 2 pairs of shoes and give you.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking if I do something nice for you, I'm going to be your friend.
Oh, yeah.
I was born different, Ola. I'm not the typical person. I'm a neurodivergent.
Yeah.
So how I function, how I react emotionally is different from how you react. So because of that, I've always been a person, even as a child, who was labeled difficult.
Yeah.
Because I was different. And because of that, I struggled to make friends. From a young age, I've actually sat and realized, do you know, I never really belonged to a friend group as a child. And as an adult, I've tried to force myself onto people. Maybe if I'm nice to them, they'll look at me and they'll like me. And maybe if I do this for them. So you end up doing things for people who don't want it. You are imposing yourself on people. So I think one of the biggest problems I've had is that I lack boundaries. I lack discernment. And because I lack that, I have brought problems upon myself.
I understand.
And how someone then retaliates or reacts to a trigger. For example, say there is something that happened behind the scenes. This friendship was built on the fact that I kind of availed myself to you. And sometimes people then have to just be nice in return and just smile at you, not because they really like you. Or rather, they come to you because they are interested in something, intrigued by something. There goes my lack of discernment again. I'm quick to assume, because I actually don't have a background where I understand what you call agape love. Because from a young age, Takakura is Amanda can tell you,
yeah.
We didn't get hugs as children. So I'm not the kind of person who grew up like the rest of you, or you knew birthdays to be something memorable. No. So I try so hard as an adult to blend in, to fit in, and maybe I seek love in places where I'm just supposed to teach myself to love myself, and I impose myself a little too much on people, and they are entitled to their retaliation, their reaction, or how they feel. So I want to label myself as the problem.
I see. I understand. Yes. Last year, on the 7th of August, you were in, every headline. The Herald wrote Natalie Mhandu up for witchcraft. That's in the Herald, like on the 7th of August. And the complaint was filed under Section 98 of Criminal Code, indicating witches and wizards. I understand it's the very, very same day you lost Tetewago as well.
Yes, that's true.
Take me back to that day. Wait, do
you know, there's a particular pattern that I've realized in my life. Every time I lose a close family member, I kind of find myself in the deep end. I don't know how God does that. I don't know if it's a character test. I think sometimes it's for character development because it's happened before. When I lost my grandmother in 2021, I woke up trending for that Shingiminyeza story. That turned out to be a lie later on because the actual person came up forward later. But anyway, let's go back to August last year. I want to acknowledge one thing. It didn't come as a surprise because there was a conversation a day before it. So by the time it hit the Herald, this issue happened on the 4th of August. The Herald wrote about it 3 to 4 days later.
Yes.
But this happened on the 4th of August where I received a call about the death of my aunt in the morning. And then around midday, like around 11ish, I received a call. Happily, and then there was insult on the other end of the line. And I'm one person who never addresses things.
Yeah.
Particularly because, Ola, I don't want to turn people who were once so dear to me into content.
Yeah.
Because I choose to hold on to the beautiful memories that I create with people. I want to acknowledge the fact that the courts dealt with that matter. And if ever I was found guilty, I'm certain there would have been a punishment for me.
Yes.
I am not here to try and change the narrative and give my side of the story because that kind of story is neither here nor there. I mean, a few weeks back, you were being accused for something similar. So you now understand what it feels like. I'm not going to then get into like, oh, this happened, that happened. No. This was someone I called my best friend and someone who had been my helper for a couple of years. Both of them were like family to me. Now, like I said earlier on, people retaliate or react differently. If you trigger a reaction in someone, you let them react. Now, the backstory to that is something I'm not going to turn into content for people to then be like, oh, so this happened or whatever. I want to continuously respect the fact that at some point, the lady who was my maid raised my child for me. Because at the time I'm traveling, I want to acknowledge that
What sort of a relationship did you have with your maid?
I want to finish what I was saying.
Okay.
Now get into that. I want to acknowledge that. Because
Yes.
my other friend was not just my best friend. We shared the same totem. She was what I called my human diary. She knew, she was someone I would tell everything that would happen to me.
Yeah.
I choose to acknowledge the good things that they did for me. What drove them to that? I'm yet to know. What made things go that way? I'm yet to know. Because as adults, Ola, we can actually choose to use the same method of communication we had prior. We've got phone numbers. I mean, in a leaked phone call during that time, you heard me saying, please come to my house so we can speak. Not that I wanted to fight. Why? Because I want to believe you've been to my house a couple of times before. Come to my house and let's put emotions aside and let's put facts on the table and let's talk. Because I was expecting this to be the same person that I knew, but people change, Ola. A lot can happen in a month of not talking to
Maybe it's
someone.
because anga affecting because of the way anga ipiwa hekaita. It will be like, what?
Yes.
For real?
Like I said,
Yes.
react differently to situations. I personally would receive news like that and I want to burst immediately. Why? Because that's my way of reacting.
Yes.
I don't want to impose how I handle things on the next person. Like I said, when you trigger a reaction in someone, you do not control how they react. You're screaming too loud because you're the one who's feeling the pain. So if someone comes to you with something that's very triggering, your reaction is entirely up to you. Which is why up until now, like I said, I will not turn people who were once loved ones to me into content. Because I can sit here and get into detail with the receipts and everything.
Yes.
I'm going to choose to be the bigger person and say, look, I'm not perfect. The one thing I know for a fact is that if really I had engaged in any of those things, the government is a forensics department that's able to track fingerprints, handwritings, and
Everything.
whatever. Yes, they could have found out it was me if it really was me.
So, like the question I asked, what kind of a relationship did you have with your maid?
She was more like my mom because she was older than me. I think she's 50 this year.
Yeah.
She was more like my mom. I respected her so much. She had a voice that was really heard in my household.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of, even currently, my current set of workers, I'm not the kind of employer who treats workers like Murima Shandi. I don't know how to do that. Maybe that's my savior complex.
Okay.
Yes. So she's someone I lived with as family. And aiti inindika no shopa imbe dzangu dzakanaka nedzimwana wangu iwo ndo vanda nomatenda ekubero no.
Yes.
Whatever it is I would buy for myself and my daughter, I would also bring in 1 or 2 things. So she's someone I treated like family. She's someone I took care of for a long time because I also understood certain parts of things that are happening in her family on her side and whatever. She had her own issues. I don't want to get into detail and start counting because then that takes away that biblical notion but we had what I can call a good relationship. That's why I said I will not then sit here and turn what used to be a loved one into content.
I understand.
Yes, because I'll post her on social media and I'll joke with her and laugh with her and whatever. So there's a reason why I had relieved her of her duties a whole month prior to that, because she stopped working for me end of June. Then this happened in August. So there was almost 5 weeks.
Okay.
Whatever drove it might have been bitterness, whatever. I could also have come and said, this is why I made you quit your job. Those who know me can tell you I don't like new people. I struggle with new people because I already have issues processing things.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me to let go of someone away 4 years, but they were things that had happened. And I want to respect her privacy and not get into detail. Yes.
Being accused of something sensitive, sensitive as witchcraft in African context, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's true.
How did that affect you? Ku family, ku church, ku basa, even in the streets?
It affected my family more than it did to me. And before I even get into detail, I want to first publicly apologize to my mother mostly, and to my siblings, and to my daughter. Because my mother had to answer over 100 phone calls from different people asking about it. My daughter had to have close to half her streammates asking her, is this true?
Yeah.
But your mom is so pretty and nice. How can she be a witch?
Yes.
And because Chloe knew me, she was traumatized by why would this happen? She had questions. So I think it mostly affected those around me more than me.
Yeah.
Because during that time, like I said earlier on, I've got hypertension. I didn't choose to have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And during that time, I've had chronic depression for different reasons over the years. So you can imagine, over the years, I've been put on depression medication. During that time, I had serious anxiety because now my phone is ringing off the hook. Currently, if your number is not saved in my phone, it can't ring because I actually have settings put on my phone to filter my calls from different media houses, different people looking for a response and a reaction from me. So it affected me so much mentally because
Except for my calls.
Yes, I answered your calls because I'll tell you why I answered your calls, Ola. I'll tell you why I answered your calls.
Yeah.
I want to publicly expose you. Ola called me and said, I'm not calling you as a journalist. I'm calling you Semporofita. I have the ability to pray.
Why are you doing this now?
No,
Natalie. Come on.
Natalie, I want to say to you, Mwari anengane chinangwa muupenyu wako ndosaka uchisangana nezvimwe zvinhu. I am not calling you to come to my podcast. I'm calling you to tell you that I don't know you in person like that. Nungokuza from afar. I'm praying for you. This too shall pass. That's what you said to me. I don't find out you wanted to write. I'm about to work interview. No, you called me as a person. That's why I answered your phone. Because your first message to me was, "Hey sis, are you okay?" That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
When you called, my mom said, let me hear what he has to say. I also answered phone call.
You had an attitude then. But when
no,
I
wasn't okay.
Yeah, you were like, yeah.
Do you know why? Because Tate publicly went and chose to defend me.
Yeah.
I've known Tate from high school days. She was in the same class with my dad's brother, Amni. So before she transitioned.
Yes.
So I knew Tate from the time when she was still Christopher Karigambi to now as Tate.
Yes.
From a distance though. It's always been nice to me. When this happened, she could have simply just gone and laughed at me like everyone else. But the one thing about Tate, I like acknowledging Chakanaka Pavan.
Exactly.
Tate anoshandisa logic more than emotion. And I think it comes from the masculine side of hers. That's why you realize even Paketka Nyayamaloti recently, she could have gone and attacked her. She said, I will not support Munano Kanganisa marriage. This is someone's partner, don't do that.
Yeah.
Tate akaenda akatunoti, all right, while you're all pointing fingers, 90% of you are out there doing different spiritual things for your own reasons. If this girl wanted to do any spiritual things, wouldn't it be for a man given she's single? So when she called me, I respected her. Akandibvunza my questions, ndakamudaira.
Yes.
Pandai or not, I want like the same way I say to you. And skuda kushoropoza, and I said the same thing to her. And she said to me, uchengete moyo wako hauna wewe kuti ningokachuka unzi imbwa kuti imbwa back. It's because of experiences in life. I'm not perfect.
Yeah. No, I
but
understand.
I had to answer your phone call because you came to me as a person, not as a person who was sniffing around for information. Weirdly, that same period of time rekindled certain relationships and friendships for me because there's people who called me and said, Nat, we had a fallout because Pepe but this is not who you are.
Yeah.
I know you, and this looks like it's a hoax. It looks like it's stupid. For me, I have certain people that I actually gained in my life again who I've been praying to restore whatever I
Yeah,
lost.
because I wanted to ask you, but that period, during that period, didn't you lose like a lot of friends saying,
Weirdly, no, I didn't.
yeah.
I think I had lost everyone I needed to lose prior to that. During that time, I got more love and affection from people than kuatakwa. The place where I got the most hurt and pain from was my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with these guys.
Yes.
You told
me.
I had just joined a group chat, siblings from my dad's siblings and cousins and whatever, right? And I received screenshots from Facebook where some of my cousins were saying, Hakuna ama hama yedu yakafa ari kunyepa. Vanda sent a picture with 2 of my dad's blood sisters who share the same father with him. Because remember, my grandfather and my grandmother had my dad and his brother, then they broke up. So they both then went and remarried and had other kids. And this Tete wangu wakafa was my dead sister from kunama yevavo.
Okay.
So just because you don't know Tete wangu washaya, remember ndakakura na gogo, ekwa baba, ne yamadza amai.
Yes.
Ndo andinozia more than all of you guys. The backlash I got from there was, Roya vanu wakanyarara iwe, it's family that's saying that.
Yes. So how is your relationship right now with your dad's family, this side?
Remember, these are people I didn't grow up with. So you can't miss what you don't know.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually met most of them. I think I'd only met 2 of them. The rest of them, Anto was even in person. We were planning to have a get together and get to know each other. I'm very hesitant because, as you grow older, there's certain things you encounter that show you could, okay, let me just stick to what I know.
Yeah.
I respect my family a lot. I actually want us to talk about my dad at some point.
Yeah.
And I want to shed light on why I have to respect family kwa Mhandu.
Yeah.
Because there's a story and a reason behind that. Yes.
These Natalie, witchcraft allegations, are they just coming from, the blues, or it's something, Chegutu, maybe people are jealous about what you do,
Jealous of what? Jealous of what?
Or maybe you are taking away the limelight, or maybe panezo rutunyatso ita okuba na vakazvo ari kusangana nazo, or my problems or challenges the opinions then they start maybe it could be Natalie.
Ola, I think in the case of Zio Panu Wanikwa Zero Yeso, I will nicely go and roy a husband for myself. That's the first thing I'll do.
Yeah.
I will nicely go and roy a husband for myself. Because above all things, anyone who's been my friend knows very well that I would really love to have a family of my own.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you know what? I'm not like that. I'm like this. I would really love for the public to derive their judgment from how they perceive me.
I think it was maybe because of...
because I can't say anyone is jealous of me.
Yeah.
Ola, in this country, we have people like Auntie Zozo, who's very, very, very stable, wealthy, and self-made.
Yeah.
We have big names like Anasis Pokelo. We have built brands. I mean, I've seen she's in construction right now. No life Chivika. We have big sisters like Anasis Chipo's Clothes that have been in retail for longer and built houses and done a lot.
Yeah.
I can list a number of women who are doing so well in life. Jealous.
Yeah.
There's nothing about me, Shamsira. I'm also a tenant like everyone else. But I'm not a landlord yet. I don't think driving a nice car is considered an asset. A car is a liability. I'm yet to have tangible things. Oh, you know what? I'm so rich, I've got that. I have not made it to rich. What I can say is I'm comfortable. And I don't think that warrants for any form of jealousy.
Yeah. So,
it's not enough.
From those days, I mean, you know what? Pakaburito's my pictures even I think in the paper, or was it H-Metro or something.
Okay.
Those pictures we say kwa kind wa kunganga kwacho kwa kazonzi pakazocherwa and stuff, and that painted a very bad picture.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Uri munhu wemasowe from birth till now. Ula ukasvika panhu pari kunzi pakachererwa chinhu chine mhiko unochibata nemaoko ngataure chokwadi. Iwewe zvako mbune uri ola.
Thank you
very much. These are people who, like, from my understanding, are normal people like you and I and everyone else. And also, I want to ask another second question. If someone dies today and we bury them today, a month from now, tika fukunura, atuane coffin neura to jigwane mjuru mostly.
tokona kona kutanga kudyiwa
rinenge rakutoshowa kuchembera handiti. So you can imagine kuti fabric ikagara in the ground for a month, because my maid had left my house almost 5 months in the ground. Was it not supposed to be dirty? Boka nemuchuru. Let's start from there. I want us to use logic, not emotion, right?
Okay.
Yes. Let's be logical here, Ola.
Maybe depends the weather.
Let's be logical,
well.
Ola. Let's be logical.
Yeah.
You went to school, you're educated. You understand geography. The ground is an ecosystem full of insects and whatever, right? If the insects of the ground are able to eat through thick, ma casket, ma coffee, within a month there's change.
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me, Kuti, that change couldn't be seen on a cloth? Point number 2. Are you trying to tell me kuti forensic department yekupolice uko haisi able to track down handwriting nekutrack down, okay, maybe fingerprints are stretch, but handwriting was chinenge handwriting ka? Let me tell you something silly.
Yeah.
Ku court pakaiva with 3 very different. Can you write your email address, your phone number and whatever here? 3 different people at 3 different times. Indonyora unge doctor. Ndi handwriting yakashata zvekuti.
Yeah.
Pamwe pacho ndakanzi write in print, write in small letters. Ndakanyora 3 times sakasiyana. Unzwisa. When lawyers then go kunogara opposition and opposition vachitaura, vanozocompare kuti, but this is not the same handwriting. You understand? So I'm not here to defend myself. You know what? It wasn't me. It was this or whatever. And I also want to understand, Ola. I don't think I'm dumb enough to drag the next person into doing something as dark as that.
Yeah.
Because munenge wangu chaiyo mayanga wakazvaratira sikana tu. I think kuti muzotanga kundiziva nezvira ndaigara naamanda. Amanda ndiye akandijaidza kuti ndinongomuka achitsara chiwaridza mubhedha ndii. But Amanda anotozviziva kuti ndine pandinodraw a line. So I think in as much as I had a very close relationship with my maid, there's certain things where you draw the line. I'm not daft after all. If I can be academically smart, I want to believe even in life, I've been able to build my brand using my brains. Pane paunozivawo kuti dzimwe nzendo unofamba wega. Dzimwe nzendo unotaura wadzoka. So if really that was the case, I don't think and also ndichiziva kuti maid abva kumba arega basa ndainobvisa kachisinhu changu izoti chozobatwa. Do you understand? Because I'm someone who uses logic. But here emotions are flying, and Ola, if I wake up and I decide it is a good day to make sure I tarnish your image, I'll go over and above and beyond to do that. That matter was not meant to go to court. The intention was to shame me. The police officers who were sent to my house were sent to take me to that other lady's house. That's what they said.
Okay.
Yes. I think you speak to my lawyer. He has that statement from the police because they obtain statements. That's what those police officers say. Because vakabvunzwa kunzi maenda kumba kwemunhu uyu ne-in-driver. How? They didn't come with the police vehicle. Nyaya iri kunzi I reported first for harassment. And ukaripota handiti, I think it takes at least 24 hours kuti vanhu vaende kunotsvaga munhu anenge aripoterwa. Uyu ane munhu wandakaudza as a mutual, akanomuudza kuti oenda kumapurisa. Then ndobva amhanya makuseni kumapurisa ikoko kwatikaenda some place in Tanaka there. And mapurisa ebva atonzi tobuda ineni right now. Inini ndiri lawyer ndiri chi vawaiswa mu-in-drive. That is not how the police operates. There is protocols in place. Protocols were not observed. The intention was to embarrass me on social media. My legal team then said, let's go to court. First day, my team said we're requesting for trial. They refused trial with reasons. Second day, they refused trial. The first day, the client said, she's harassing people. The magistrate said, no. I listened to the call. They were harassing her. Passport is a flight risk. The magistrate, go and enjoy your hero's holiday. We'll see you next week on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, they were all there. They gave a reason not to send the trial. So as makutora away my human rights musiye. Kana mchinga mazofunga mozodzoka. And the third time, vega vakanga you know what, misinformation or whatever, and nyaya bias ngonopira mapiro yakata is not for me to talk about. My lawyers would really kill me for that because I'm not supposed to disrespect people. That's why I'm not saying names. But I want us to understand one thing. Certain things require us to use logic and not emotional. And what I realized from social media, it was standing on 50-50. There's half the people were saying, let's apply logic. This is stupid. Then there's half the people were saying, there's motive here. It could be true, but he set up it where it was a trap. Then there's another, actually it wasn't 3. Then there's the other ones who just do not like you for whatever reason, who are entitled to not liking me. I am not money, no do anyone say. Who then went and said, and then there's things being fabricated and made up and whatever, and it then becomes a whole frenzy. And I don't want to come and say, I was innocent. I want everyone to judge me how they see fit.
After all said and done, are you now in good books with your friends?
Ola, not all relationships are meant to sail through all parts of your life. We meet people for particular seasons and particular reasons.
Probably she's watching right now. What ways do you want to say to her right now?
I wish her well in everything she's doing. I think she's an amazing mother to her children, and she's a hard worker, and I wish her well in everything she's doing. Yes, and I still respect every good thing that she did for me. I will forever cherish the good that she poured into me. I'll forever remember how she cultivated the interest to actually become a continental icon in fashion and in business. The rooms she allowed me to get into. For example, you saw me last year that summit. Yes, she gave me access to that because her sister was running it.
Oh yeah,
and I'm grateful for that. Yes,
great. You have had fallouts with several friends. When you look back, Natalie, at those situations, do you think there are any patterns in your own behavior that might have contributed to them?
Okay, so thank you so much for that. Like I said earlier on, I personally have self-diagnosed myself with a mental illness of a savior complex.
Self-diagnosed?
Yes, because like when you sit and you self-introspect, that deep need to want to do for people, to convince them, but you know what, you're deserving of this. Anyone who's encountered me on a personal level will tell you this. I'm quick to offer things. On your launch, did I not offer I can even dress your wife? Did you ask me for it? No, you didn't. I'm forever assuming that if I do something nice, I'll earn a seat at the table. So I want to acknowledge that one of the biggest problems I have is my lack of boundaries. I do not have boundaries.
So do you think you have been treated unfairly by your friends, or along the way, you're jealous in most of pesana?
All right, so friendships are rooted in different directions. Some are rooted in mutual love. I've had those. I still have those. Some are rooted in common dislike for something or someone. I can acknowledge that has happened. Some are rooted in similar interests or similar backgrounds. And some actually start or stem from curiosity. So every friendship or every relationship, just like any other relationship, ends due to different reasons. I want to believe, like I said earlier on, Munuwese we meet in our lives comes for a purpose and for a reason. And I was raised, your prime purpose is not to hurt the next person. If you can't help them, don't hurt them. That's maybe why even if I encounter something that's hurtful, I will not retaliate and go and turn someone I loved into content. But now remember, Ola, we react to things differently. In some situations, I made mistakes. And I was the problem. In some situations, I was misunderstood. Like I mentioned earlier on, I am a neurodivergent. How I process things, how I operate, and how my emotions are wired differently. And in some situations, it was really misunderstandings that stemmed from other comparison. And comparison being a thief of joy, it then creates unnecessary problems. And in some situations, there is a part of having ADHD that creates the object permanence, where it's out of sight, out of mind. One of my worst traits is that if I don't talk to you for at least a week, I can actually forget that you're there. Not because I want to, but my mind has a tendency of just moving on with whatever is like within my reach. So sometimes relationships die a natural death. Like there's someone I was very close to earlier in the year. I had to go through something, and then I just shut down. By the time I got to come around, I got time out. You neglected me. I neglected her. But it wasn't because I wanted to neglect her. Out of sight, out of mind. It's not by choice. It's a default setting within my brain.
I see.
My brain processes things differently.
I see.
Yes.
In your previous interview, you spoke about, believing in African traditions and cultural spaces. Let's talk about that.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. Many young Zimbabweans are torn between modern beliefs and traditional practices. Why do you think there is still so much stigma around openly acknowledging consultations with traditional leaders or healers?
So maybe let me answer you like this. You do realize that we become what we saw our parents doing when we were growing up. Earlier when I mentioned my father, my father Shikiro. There's a picture that I always post of my father with ndakakura baba wangu achiridza mbira. Ndakakura baba wangu kumba kwedu, like my dad's side of the family, they respect tradition. So I grew up knowing fully well kuti kana mwana achinge awana basa mai vanonokwira pachikuva vanoisa maoko kunoti pamusoro yematateguru yemwana chichengetai mwana kwaari kuenda munomuchengetedzawo kumativi mana uko nemiwo embereko mumurangariro. Do you understand? That's what raised me from my dad's angle.
Yes.
And then, for example, baba wangu vari kusvika 10 years vafa this year. He died in 2016. Ndiri kunorova guva ravo.
Yes.
Ndiri amai vebhachire moyo musande ndiri mukatoriki akakwana. But kana nguva ichinge yakwana yekuti pari kunoitwa bira rekurova guva rababa wangu, I'm going to be actually in the forefront and I'll tell you why. Because I respect tradition. I was raised in tradition. I understand tradition.
Could it be also the reason why people link you to witchcraft because of they don't understand?
You interjected. I'll get to that.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. Urimposto randiti. But sorry, what's your totem?
Chiwa.
Buda mai vangu. Ukafa iwo nasi. Anotara rukarwa repaunoradzikwa. Ndana chiwa handiti. Say maprofita singatare rukarwa rwako.
No, but they're not my relatives.
Thank you very much. So if we want to then be misled into thinking culture is bad, but then kana uchinge wafa wadzama iwe waenda kunyika dzino. Handitika uchada kuti pauya anashumba nechinanga vatare rukarwa kuti ndo potorwa chipadza ponzi ndo pamba pako pawacharadzikwa apa mazvinzo here ashumba. Handiti. But then mangwana chivanhu chakashata because we don't want to acknowledge the fact that we actually need tradition. Point number 2. Kana tradition yakashata, muri kunobvisire pfuma muchisa zvanza kuti makadi ate zvara tiri kubatanidza ukama kuti vana chiwa naana shumba taakuita muri imwe chete. Since chiri chivanhu chiri chinhu chakashata.
So the new gen, it seems like they like what benefits them.
There is stigmatization around
like Tsiri Maroro.
There is stigmatization around the chivanhu because we want to stereotype kuti munhu akatave chivanhu atoo muroyiwa atoo ng'anga. Understand chivanhu chine hierarchy. I want to explain this to you. Allow me to educate you and those who are watching.
Yeah.
Kuchivanhu kune hierarchy. Kune mhondoro. Those are like the ultimate supreme leaders muchivanhu. Handiti. Koita matateguru. Koita makombwe. Koita machangamiri. Koita machemberi. Vavhimi nevashaviri. Varwi vehondo. Koita masahwira vashaviri vemadziva vanenge vakuzonzi manjuzu emarara. Handiti. All of these things have always been there. There's a reason why tine statue yambuya Nanda in the CBD. Because she is one of the supreme leaders of this land. Wanzwisa. Panofa munhu achivigwa uchisvitswa mumba. Vanhu vakuru vanotombotirana hama dzamai hama dzababa vanoisa maoko pamusoro yana shumba pamusoro yana chiwa. Mpwera adzoka kuti agozosuzumara mukati mechino chivara. Mangwana achinge takunomuradzika. Mochizivisawo nevaridzi veZimbabwe. Vana mbuya nehanda naana sekuru Kagwi naana Tongogara. Vachitsawo kuna musika vanhu kuti mwana takumudzosera kuvhukwa akabva. Why do they do that? Uri mupostori iwo. But that process is done. Do you know why? Because there is the owners of the land. Let's respect that every space is an entity that owns the land. Kuchechi munonzi mwenjimbo ndo ipiwe. There's those good ancestors we fought for you to have this land. Then there's also mweka pakana kumadzinza kwenyu kundori nana mbuya nana tete nana sekuru vakafa zvisina tsari kana vakafa vasina kuroorwa nekuroora vakafa vachiponda vakanga vari mhondi vari mbavha midzimu yakaipa. Then pane madzitateguru ako anga akanaka vaivavhimi vaivashaviri vaihurudza vairima chaizvo vakanga vane upenyu hwakanaka. Those are your good ancestors. We need to normalize respecting and understanding tradition. The same effort we put in Googling things that don't concern us. Let's put the same effort in educating ourselves about these things.
So powerful. Hey, I've learned something new today. I hope you did too. But now back to my question as well.
Yes. You said what?
Your vast knowledge, when it comes to issues of tradition and culture, do you think then that maybe why your friends or your former friends or other people may perceive you as a witchcraft?
It's okay for them to perceive me of that because I respect tradition. I honestly do not mind being judged for my beliefs. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't mind being judged for my beliefs. I strongly believe in tradition because I saw what tradition did for my family. Because what people don't realize is that there's just one entity that we all serve. Church is God, Jesus Christ. Kuma Hebrews, they have their way. Kuma Muslims, there is Allah. Buddhism, whatever. We are all serving one supreme being, which is God, the Almighty, the Creator, in different names. So if I'm then judged because I openly respect tradition, remember one thing, Ola, you cannot shame the shameless. The fact that I'm confident to tell you that I believe in tradition means I don't care about how you perceive me.
Okay.
I care about what I benefit from that. My child understands tradition. andozvinzwisisa kuti tikaenda kuguva kwasekuru tinosvika tanga tanhonga dombo toisa dombo toti makadii sekuru ndini muzukuru wenyu mazvita ndauya kuzokuona ita kumbosakura pamukagara totora kabadza tosakura togadzira toona kuti paguva pari sei toenda. She's young but she respects culture because she knows kuti amai vangu ndiri mwana mukuru mufamily. I come from a big family. My dad had 10 kids. I was the only daughter for almost all my life until he had my little sister who was Chloe's age.
Yes.
My mom had 3 of us. Andika ndini mkuru. Ndiri mzukuru mkuru from both ends. Yes, kuside kwa mama, I have 2 older cousins, but they've really been a bit absent. Shikuti gogo wakaisa all that responsibility on me. Even when gogo died, ndini ndakanga ndiri in charge. So kuti wangu amadzambuya dzaizwaya but ndaivunzonzi melotodi like I said in a recent TikTok post. Pane this song yekure iri kurizwa mazivano and I captioned it. Sure tatowana wakuru zvekuti pakafiwa panomirirwa sisi my Chloe kana kuti tete my Chloe. That was me speaking my truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see.
But that's my situation.
I see.
So ndekasa respecta chivanhu. Ndaigona ngoti gogo vafa nguva dzeCovid ngatingova pasina hama dzavo. Pakatoita a little miss up ndikatononyengerera because hapaitarwa rukarwa nemunhu asiri moyo sinyoro nekuti handisi hama yagogo. Uri kunzwisisa?
Yeah.
So I respect tradition. I've got deep love for tradition.
Thank you so much for, teaching us the culture.
The pleasure is
I think watibatsira zvakati nyanyei. Panyaya dzekacha. I hope you guys also wabatsirikana kumboko.
Aiwa pane vachati aiwa zero vada kureverera ivhu. Unatanga quote from a Bible verse and before you end that part. If you realize on the genealogy of Jesus, I'm sorry I really understand the Bible. I'm writing a book about reflections on the Bible, by the way.
Okay.
In the genealogy of Jesus Christ, they speak about his ancestors. There's a reason why when people are praying, they refer to God as the God of Abraham. Because Abraham was their ancestor. Ndiye aizoti kuna Mwari. Anditi, why is it bad for me kuti nditi pamusoro isekuru wangu nechinanga nooreka. Monditsira kuna musika vanhu kuti ini mupwere wenyu ndiri kukumbira kuti dai Mwari amboitawo kuti inayewo semvura yemvumbi mukati mechirano.
Ungasanga kudeketa.
Ndiri mwana weshikiro ola. I say to you earlier on, don't let the eyelashes and the BBL fool you. Kana nguva yekuenda yakuridza hosho pachidzidzwa yakwana unondishaya. Ndakakura ndichiisa zvanza kuna baba wangu. Sekuru wangu taichikora muzura kuti makadii nechinanga. Saka I cannot come here and start acting all brand new and act like, oh, you know what?
Like
I'm not about that life. Even my parish priest knows.
You are not ashamed of your culture.
I am not ashamed of being mwana mutema. Ndiri mwana mutema.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ndiri mwana mutema.
Thank you so much for that. As we move on as well, over the years, you've found yourself at the center of several social media controversies, scandals and stuff. In your view, what usually triggers these controversies?
I think naturally because I am in the limelight, like I was put in the spotlight. Actually. Mkoma Japreza mimi ndi problem. Maganditire popular. Because if it wasn't for that Japreza video, I probably would have been living my private life somewhere else and nchungeto mashinani ganzangu nchungeto tu drama kwangu. I think they ngo tuko zvine reason nevanhu 10 vanondiziva iva. But anyway, back to the story. When you're put in the public, you're perceived by different people for different reasons. Some judge me based on my fashion. Some judge me based on the character they see online. Remember, social media, we bring a persona. No one posts their real problems. Some judge me based on an interaction in the salon. Some judge me based on experiencing me. Remember, who you experience and who she experiences are 2 different people because there's versions of me. And I continuously evolve. Someone who experienced me 10 years ago might not get the same version of me right now. So I'm not a saint. There's things I've done with Siri, right? I'll give an example of something that I've done in the past that I continuously use as an example or like I reflect on it a lot. It has taught me that what you give comes back to you. Back in 2014, I was pregnant with my late daughter. Ndakanga ndaidedzwa kubulawayo ku head office ku INSCO. Chira kupiwa some form of pension semunangareka basa. And I was pregnant. Ndanga ndiri mukombi ndakagara kumashure. Kombi yanga yakapira mashoko kumashure. But this guy was speeding because one of the ladies in that car angafirwa na baba wake aidonobata bhazi renyara dzomugweru. Now I'm pregnant, I'm nauseous, morning sickness all day. I'm irritated, I'm even unable to speak much because ndoda kusvipa. Mota iri kubamba bamba. Ndiri kugujura. A little detour, I have a condition that's called cervical incompetence. I already struggle with conception. This is something that I know. So now, gujurwa. And I did not think before I spoke. But I said, can't you slow down a bit? Like we will get where we're going. She can say, no, sister, our mama, I, without thinking, blurted out. Samda kuraya mwana wangu nekuti wafirwa na baba wao. So like vachasvika munhu ari kwiko kwamuka. Ola, let me tell you this. What you plant grows. Mashoko yayo akandidzokera. Let me tell you when it came big. The day my daughter died, akaita kunonzi aspirator for those who have preterms, where they kind of fall asleep while feeding and then they swallow the wrong way. And this child was alive for at least an hour and a half before passing away. Ndakanotsvaga the nearest lift kundienda nemwana kuhospital. Ndichingogara mukamushikashika kandakagara kaikai. Driver anga ine bhebhi rake kumberi achitonanazika. Ndibva ndamuti edwe mwana wangu ari kurwara. Takwanisa kufambisa here zvikanzi atingaregedze kusasana because of mwana wenyu. Kana mune problem burukai. Do you know what God does? It hit me right there. Mashoko wako akambatuka munhu gore riya anokudzokera. Ola, for years I've eaten myself up and said to myself, I could have saved my child. Maybe if karma didn't hit me that way, maybe those guys would have taken me to the hospital on time and I would have had help for my daughter.
Sad.
So sometimes, maybe, just maybe, there's a time where I wasn't popular on social media. I would also troll in the comment section.
Yeah.
When it's happening to me now, I know how it feels. That's why I don't go to defend myself.
Yeah, I see.
Because pane patimbo judge wa munhu tisingamuzivi. You can only understand when it happens to you. Ufunge, the moment you are in the public space, you are prone to being judged differently by people who perceive you differently. I want to know of you and don't know you.
And I wanted to understand from you, when social media turns against you, how do you deal with pressure and the noise?
Okay, I shut down. Normally I would deactivate and run away, but since last year I was taught something by my lawyer. Shout out Mr. Jeremiah Bamu. You've taught me a lot, sir. And Mr. Tamuka Moyo. They said to me, you don't leave your city because it's raining. It rains everywhere. So I've normalized turning that noise and chaos into good for me. On that day where noise was happening, do you know kuti musi wakatotanga drama iroro ndakatofonera na photographer wangu ndikanzi right now makeup artist ari kuya kumbane kuzokuita bvudzi. We're taking photos today. I took my most beautiful photo to date on the day this happened. Ndanga ndafirwa same day ndakanzi you go and you cry later. The way I was smiling on that picture, you can't tell kuti naimba mirando chema, because my aunt died tisiri kutaudzana tatine kautedzana katatinako. She was Gogo's last girl and I'm Gogo's first msukuru, so we were like sisters. So you know tatineka silly sibling rivalry kedu katanga taita, but kana kune munhu aindida life mangu who helped me in a lot of ways ndiwo. So it really hit me kuti like you were not sick like that, how did this happen? But ndakatombopoza ma problems angu ndikambopoza ndikutukwa. I smiled, I took a picture. That is one of the most engaged pictures on my page. Do you know why? Because I turned that chaos into good for me.
I see.
Vanga vasingandiziva vakatonosvika kuti anochena but musikana wacho. So yes, it does eat at me. I'm human, Ola. I'm not made of steel and mortar. I'm made of flesh and blood.
Yeah. Do
I cry? Yes, I do. Do I break down? Yes, I do. And for me, I think my biggest problem is I've had mental health issues because I've already, like I was born neurodivergent. During a default setting that sets me aside from the rest of the people. Or rather, I'm part of a smaller part of the population. So I process emotions differently. And I've had chronic depression from as back as 2014 when my daughter died. I don't think I ever really got past it. I only got it medicated later and managed it later, and I already take blood pressure medication. So you can imagine how that happens. But now it's not about me. I never want my child to see me crying and breaking down. So I get into a space where I will be numb and I'll be tough, and then I cry myself to sleep. I'm a human after all.
You once said something in the court. Social media is playful, witty and deceiving. That's Scott. How should young people, balance authenticity with the reality that future employers and also universities review their online presence?
Right. Thank you for that. I want to address the person who's watching. I need everybody to understand that our digital footprint matters a lot. I am a person who's endured the side effects of a terrible digital footprint. How so? I applied for an American visa last year in January. Everything else they needed was in line. But the one thing that got me denied was they Googled my name and they bumped into a story that happened in 2021 where I was falsely accused of dating someone. For them, it was reason enough to say, you are being affiliated with some top government official, and here you are saying you're not politically affiliated. Yes, you have a political party you support, like everyone else is right. But then you're saying you're not even affiliated with our position, because they'll ask you, do you have a government position? But you had a position as a government officer's mistress. your digital footprint matters a lot. Don't let the craziness of comment sections lure you into thinking it's okay for you to drag the next person and say something. Because first world countries are big on human rights. Bashing someone because of their sexuality, bashing someone because of their mental illnesses or mental conditions, bashing someone for their weight or how they look can eventually lead you astray. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of jobs where while you're waiting, they'll go and they'll track down everything you put on the internet. And I'm sorry to tell you this, because of AI, they're actually able to just go and put a prompt here, to search every comment that they've put, anything that comes from IP address yake, even magosta kwanza kuankafika. Ukuona uchituka wangu shinyatsi. Remember also, we're all working so hard to build a legacy. Your legacy starts with your digital footprint. What are you putting out there? Be it a comment, be it the content you're putting out, be it what you're doing. For example, there's a time I used to really like posing in bikinis and showing my body off. I've long since taken those pictures down. But if you Google me, you'll find it. I'm not proud of it. I don't want my daughter's children to look on the internet when I'm 70 years old and see their grandmother in a bikini posing, looking cute. Yes, I can't wear uniform at Zanuku Beach. But there's certain things that are not meant for everybody's eyes.
Yeah.
I've grown to understand that. So may you always remember that your digital footprint contributes a lot to where you're going right now. Because the world is going towards artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And unfortunately, AI is fast enough to pull out. Like, there's a day I say to my ChatGPT, truth mode, pull out every bad press about me on the internet. Do you know there's articles I didn't know existed that I saw that day? And I say truth mode, pull out every negative comment I've posted. Be it using my current social media handles or my old handles or any other handle I've ever used. Do you know there's certain comments I saw that I put on Facebook in 2014 where I was laughing at someone and labeling them something, and I say to myself, we are living in difficult times where we need to be very mindful of what we do.
Yeah, that's really, really deep. I'm sure one warikudzidza foot panyaya idzodzo the digital footprint.
Yeah, because comment section as celebs is fun to go and troll someone until it happens to you. Or until you go and look for a job and guess what? The HR manager is my uncle and he's like, ndiwakadza mwana wangu kuti wewe ulikambi marari. Tsokera
That was kupinda.
No,
That was kupinda. Natalie, you've spoken about how people often assume you are someone different, because of your online persona.
Yes.
Looking back, do you think vari social media varorarama upenyu usika reflect the reality?
That's a really good question, Ola. Do you know, I'm back on Facebook, eh? So I recently saw a post that said, ava, vapera, vakungoposta zveBhaibheri. One of my strengths, I'm not praising myself, but this is something that I can safely pat my shoulder on for. I am able to live my truth. Ola kana ndakasheka those days. If I am calling to God for mercy, things are not going my way, I will post Bible verses because that's all I have. The past 18 months have been what I call the trenches. I've been going through refining. There's a song by Chandler Moore that's called Refiner where he says, I want to walk through fire and be purified. That refining is a painful process. I've had to unlearn toxic behaviors. I've had to unlearn certain things. I've had to do away without doing the usual things. Like, I'm the kind of person who likes nice things. I've had to learn to scale down. But okay, I have to worry about filling the pantry and not filling my closet. I can't be flying out on first class. Did you enjoy your life? The little that I have is only enough to sustain my family. So do you know what I do? I'm not going to post an old picture of me in first class and pretend like I'm traveling. No, I'm not. I might not come and write and tell you someone has said to me before, you have a problem. Why are you writing, you're not feeling well, you are back on antidepressants and that, because I want the next person to relate to me. Because remember, it's about perception. Not everyone on social media hates me. There's people who genuinely feel influenced by me, by how I live, by how I raise my daughter, by how I dress, by the things I share. Some find me very wise, some find me very dumb, some find me very annoying. The few of those that look at me and actually find me intriguing, interesting, and they find me someone they want to learn from, I want them to know it's okay for you to be depressed and get on medication.
Yeah,
it's okay for you to be in hospital and be sick.
People have labeled you. Some people have labeled you bipolar because of your ADHD. what is ADHD and what is the difference? How is it different from bipolar?
Right. So thank you so much for that question. I think the first thing I want to say before I even get into that is I really wish people would invest as much time into Googling or searching the internet for information pertaining to important issues like that, rather than spend their time Googling issues about celebrity gossip and stuff. Getting into it, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It is when a person lacks the ability to pay attention for long. The fact that I'm engaging in this conversation fully and I'm not playing a game on the phone and I'm talking to you in Chegutu is because I feel fully engaged. I have a very short attention span. I'm also very hyperactive in the sense that there's moments where you can find me extremely yappy more than everyone else. That's why some people might actually think I'm like too loud. It's not by choice. I process emotions differently from other people. I'm probably overwhelming to some people, but that also comes with ability to multitask. For example, I cannot watch a movie. My mind drifts away.
Oh, yeah?
At a time, I'm thinking of 14 different things. I can start 6 businesses in my head and worry about why my grandfather died and think of what if Chloe wakes up tomorrow and she doesn't want to go to school. Like I'll think of 9 things in one go, worry about 4 things on the side, still listen to what the movie is saying, play a game on my phone and be writing. I can multitask.
Yeah.
I am a neurodivergent, meaning my mind is a particular mechanism of its own. Neurodivergence includes dyslexia. Dyslexia is found in people when either they struggle to read totally or upside down.
Okay.
It stretches to autism. I think we're slowly getting to learn about autism. I want to shout out to Sonia Mazkanda for really educating people that it's okay to have autistic children. She's done so much for that.
Yeah.
It goes as far as, I want to believe even bipolar is part of that. I've even been labeled schizophrenic.
Yeah.
People don't have the decency of respecting the fact that diagnosis comes from trained health professionals, my psychiatrists, my therapists. Actually, a psychiatrist has to actually diagnose you things. My diagnosis came in my 30s. Growing up, I was labeled difficult, unstable, unhinged, uncontrollable, unable to concentrate, hyperactive. I'm a parent to a neurodivergent child. It only took me getting my diagnosis for me to understand my daughter's diagnosis. And for me, it came at a later stage in life. It didn't come to me as, oh, this is what's wrong with me. Because I spent my whole life thinking, what is wrong with me? If my friend once said to me, bipolar, because, but do you know what bipolar disorder is? It's switching in between characters. I don't switch in between characters.
Okay.
When I'm bipolar, I can at one moment be talking to you and laughing with you and switch and change voice and be screaming for no reason. They struggle to balance their emotions.
Yeah.
I feel things deeply. That's why uchiona ndine ka severe complex keke kuti ndine system yekufunga kuti if I do things like this, you're going to love me. My version of love is mostly different from other people. To some women, maybe their version of love is maybe gifts or whatever. For me, it's mostly acts of service. Okay. So you realize I'm the kind of friend that will sit with you on a hospital bed at 3 a.m. because I also desperately want you to love me that same way because I'm perceived different.
Yeah. You know what? I think you've said it all. Just to, as we conclude, I want you to be as brief.
Okay.
I've got a few questions, but I want you to be as brief
as I can be. Okay.
Yes.
I'll do my best.
Try your best.
Okay.
You represent a very bold, independent woman. You know, what does femininity mean to you?
Femininity to me means the confidence and the courage to live according to your own rules. It means embracing yourself as a female and harnessing your feminine energy and turning it into your power. Because as females, the reason why we are the givers of life, we have a birth canal, is because God saw us as the ground in which humanity is formed from. Femininity for me is the ability to actually be a mother to a nation. That's why countries are called motherlands. Yes. So femininity for me is the power that is derived from my ability to birth things and create things to fruition.
Great. Yes. Your presence on social media is to, mostly on social media, is to model, advertise your merchandise and also make your followers laugh. how can influencers ensure that their content remains entertaining without creating digital footprint that may later be problematic, like you've mentioned earlier?
Okay, so I think authenticity is key. I think you also got it wrong. My presence on social media, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a retail expert, fashion enthusiast and stylist. And I also sometimes, from time to time, venture into speaking engagements because I'm very passionate about educating people about things that I know. And I also have a funny side where I'm being silly and hilarious on TikTok. Authenticity is all that matters, because if you remain authentic to yourself, meaning you're taking the values you were taught as a child and you carry them with you in whatever rooms you walk in, you avoid being rude, you avoid being overzealous, you avoid being a person who's just, what's the word? When I know it's in
a cruel person.
Not cruel. There's a word I want. It's sorry, ADHD. I forgot the word. But you avoid being a person arrogant. Thank you. If you're authentic to how you're raised, because the one thing I know for a fact is our mothers and our grandmothers and our families were rooted in Ubuntu Wuno. Keri Wuno wakadzidziswa mwana onto social media. There's no honor in being a mean person. It's embarrassing to be a mean girl as a grown-up. It's embarrassing to be a mean boy as a grown-up. Leave that for teenagers who are still trying to maneuver and figure out who they are. As an adult, why are you being mean?
Yeah, powerful. You once said you want to be among top women in Africa.
Yes, Forbes top 50, under 50. That's the next.
Are you still chasing that vision?
Yes, I am. Very much so. Yes.
So, can I get an opportunity to partner with any international fashion brand or stylist? Who would it be?
It would be Sandra Tubebereni from Nigeria. Oh God, I love that lady. She's doing amazing in fashion. It would be Swanky Jerry. I like his vision. I like his style. He keeps things. He's big on simplicity with elegance. Yeah. I would partner with Madeline Boss. She's based in Nigeria as well. And I would partner with Colin Carter. He's stylist to Cardi B. And lastly, I would partner with stylist Jay Bolin. And Law Roach. Law Roach is the fashion stylist. Law Roach does Zendaya, does sometimes J-Lo, does a number of people, important people, Celine Dion. Yeah. And then Jay Bolin does Sarah Jakes. They resonate with my aesthetic. I'm more on the modest, grown, sexy vibe. Yeah. I'm past that whole chic, nude, short, skimpy. I think I've outgrown that. Yeah. So I would want to partner with those people because they resonate a lot with me. Yeah. And if I was to partner with an international fashion brand, LVMH is the way to go because they run literally everything for me.
Great. Okay, Natalie, are your things natural or it's
I've had a little panel beating here and there.
You did your BBL?
Oh my goodness, yes, I have had a BBL.
Wow. Would you encourage young girls to go for BBL? I'll
tell you this, Ola. You live every day and you die once. And when you die once, you're not guaranteed that you'll be reincarnated.
Yeah.
Yes. So normalize living every day in a body that you love. If you feel the need to move the furniture around to make things look the way you want, it's your body, your rules. Do as you please with yourself. I did that for myself, for my self-confidence. That's why I went and I had my liposuction, I had my BBL, I did my teeth. I've got perfectly white teeth. These are veneers. I've done everything I can to perfect my
quite
image.
Expensive, right?
We're not getting into that. Don't need our lifestyle audit.
Okay.
Let's normalize taking care of our bodies how we see fit. And if you want yourself to look good, there's no harm in that. Yeah. I think society has a tendency of stigmatizing body enhancements as lack of confidence. To know it's actually pursuit of more confidence, because if I'm confident with myself, then I'm supposed to be able to do what I want with myself.
So what's
confidence
the take on,
emanates from doing what you want with yourself.
What's the take on skin bleaching?
That's a personal choice. I can't. That's calling a pot killing a kettle black. I can't go and say, "Okay, bleach it when I did my veneers," because if someone feels like maybe if they're light skinned they'll be better. Remember, beauty standards keep on evolving. When we were in our early 20s, light skinned women were perceived to be the most beautiful. Up until now, most men prefer light skinned women. I know how that feels to be a woman and not be chosen because of how you look. So if the next person feels like lightening their skin is going to make them more attractive, because unfortunately, this is something most people can't admit. As women, we strive day by day, except for the feminists. I'm not a feminist, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to toxic femininity of thinking, oh, you know what, as a woman, I'm sorry, I'm not that girl. As women, we strive on a daily, like I said earlier on, to find a partner who wants to be with us. We dress and look good so that you can compliment us. Yes, it feels nice when another lady says you look nice because you'll be like, oh, because women naturally don't like each other. But the goal is to look so good that you're going to attract yourself a partner. Because biblically, we are Adam's rib. So if I don't look good enough to locate the owner of this rib, then what am I doing? That's my thought. That's how I think. And that's how I take things.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally, when you look in the mirror at the woman you have become, and if world stripped away the brands, the titles, and the controversy, who is Natalie Mhandu at core?
Natalie Mhandu is a happy child. That's what I am. Anyone who's been around me will tell you I am a happy chappy.
Whoa.
Outside what you're seeing right now, I'm a loner of note. I like being alone in my bedroom. I read a lot. I write a lot. I like playing with the kids. I love cooking. I'm actually what you call a homebody. I don't like being out in public with people. I get easily overwhelmed and overstimulated because remember, I've got ADHD.
Yeah.
So Natalie is a happy child who really I think I'm still stuck in that my inner child continuously wants to live her best days because as a child, I never really got to experience a lot of things. Did you know that I only knew a microwave, or rather saw a microwave for the first time when I was 17 years old? Yes. Because
Exactly.
I grew up with a pit latrine toilet. So a lot of things are new to me. I learned about them as an adult. So I'm that person who's trying to make sure I feed my inner child. So Natalie is just a happy child who's allowing herself to make up for all the time that I lost as a child, all the experience I didn't have as a child. And I continuously strive to heal myself on a daily basis based on the things I've endured. I've endured and encountered sexual assault more than once. I don't let it define me.
Yeah.
But when I strip away all of this, I'm just a happy child who is looking to be loved and who's learning to love herself.
Great.
Yes.
Your celebrity crush? Who's your celebrity crush?
Unandibukisa nemurungu kamsazodaro.
Unandibukisa
Unandibukisa nemurungu msazodaro. Celebrity crush.
Yeah.
Who's my crush, Amanda?
Oh, Amanda, you know Natalie's crush. Oh. It seems
Why
like
would you say
said deep
Jonas
stuff.
of all people? Celebrity crush. Do you know the problem with me? I'm not wowed by a lot of things. You know, like what people look like doesn't fascinate me. Yes. I'm not that girl who thinks Oprah is high and mighty. No.
Yeah.
I probably think Bonang Mateba is better than Oprah because I've seen her grow her brand.
Okay.
So celebrity crush, that's tricky because opposite to what people like, I like short men. Yes. So it's probably going to be someone you look at and you're like, no, Ola, can you stop shooting your short?
I'm just looking. I'm just looking at my height.
Can you stop shooting your short? But while I like short men, Ola, I've also dated tall men. For me, like I said to you earlier on, character plays a big role. So I can't have a crush on you unless I know you. You know, so I think the current person I'm seeing right now is who would be my crush because they are what I want, right? I don't have anyone who's like a celebrity crush. Like I look at them and like, oh, I like you now. But as a teenager, I had a crush on Mdiwa Hood and he knows it.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, God.
Did you try to?
I used to melt when I saw him with his friend Cyril.
Yeah.
And
but did you try things?
Even my dad knew good. I don't know.
But you were try as night.
No. Because I grew up watching sister kake, so I don't think he would ever look at me like that. But he knew from when I was like 13, I would melt literally. He knows. It's not a secret. Yes. He knows about it.
Thank you so much, Natalie Mhandu, for coming. Melo, I really appreciate you coming here and also spending time with you on the #1 podcast in the land. And maybe your parting shots as we conclude. Your parting remarks.
Please remember to stay true to yourself. If you want to live your life as a green bean, make sure you are the juiciest green bean in the pack. Don't let the next person determine who you become. Because if you go through life acting like you're auditioning for a character in a movie, then you're going to live this life a very sad and broken person. And let's also normalize one thing. Let's be kind to the next person because people are carrying a lot of things that we don't know. A lot of people are unable to share the things that they're going through on a daily basis. Most of you discovered today that I was a victim of sexual abuse. I'm not a victim, but well, if I'm to put it in correct terminology, I was that. So you might actually come to someone and judge them without knowing their full story. Take time to get to know people before you judge them. And let's normalize going back to Ubuntu. And last but not least, my deepest concern is that we are a generation of broken people who are raising children who are going to have to recover from their childhoods. As parents, let's do better. How we relate with other people, how we treat other people are lessons we're imparting on our children. May we remember, as we are growing older, we are raising the next generation of people. So let's always remember that whatever we're doing is shaping who our children are going to be. Don't raise kids who will end up like me. I love my parents. Don't take me wrong. But they were not the best example of what I wanted to become. Until this day, my mom is always saying to me, thank you for becoming everything I wished I could be and I couldn't be. So be that parent who your kids will look back at and be like, you know what? My mom was actually the real deal because she did 1, 2, 3, and I learned this from her.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That was Natalie Mhandu on your number 1 podcast in the land. Thank you so much for your, beautiful 2 hours.
I'm actually surprised. I thought it would be like 4 hours.
Yes,
or something.
2 hours. Tuned in. Magagara, Magamiranyaya, and Natalie had to give us everything. I think Manyatson's gives about who she is. Until next time, my name is DJ Ola7, signing out.